What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy. You guys are watching Inside the Coils. Tonight, we've got who I consider now a good friend. We've been getting a chance to chat it up a little while. Been messaging back and forth throughout for a little while as well, and just kind of getting to know each other a good bit. The one and only Zac Parpart from Parpart's Prestine, Pythons, and more. Super excited to have him on. Not only are we going to be talking about his whole ordeal, we might get a little dive into Husbandry Pro, a little bit. We're not going to cover a whole lot of Husbandry Pro tonight because we want to find out and hear more about him and his breeding projects, the breeding aspect, all that stuff. But we might dive into Husbandry Pro a little bit. Like I said, tiny bit though. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Greatly appreciate all the love and support. Had a show this weekend. We'll talk about my show this weekend as well. As you guys all know, it was May the 4th yesterday. So happy belated Star Wars Day, everybody. This is Revenge of the 5th. So I think it's kind of a good day to have a show on because I'm more of a dark side kind of guy anyway. So let's go ahead and bring Zac out because you guys don't want to hear me just jib jab and blab all that crap. You guys want to hear and see the person that is on for tonight. What up, Zac?
What's up, man? Hey, it's a nice shirt you got there, sir.
I know. I kind of like. I'm digging yours though, man. Like, is it the same thing or yours looks a little darker?
Okay, same logo. This was a different print we did when we used a Bella canvas shirt, and they tried a different type of printing on it. It faded. It didn't come out the right orange, so we didn't do it anymore.
Okay. Yeah, no, this thing's holding up really good. Absolutely love it. It's actually really comfortable. Everybody, if you aren't using Husbandry Pro yet, quick little plug in for them. Check them out. There's a link in the description. Click it. Sign up for a free 30-day trial. Pick a plan because I don't know why you don't want to use this software. Just rip the Band-Aid off and go do it, guys. Once you get the animals plugged in, it's a breeze. I couldn't do breeding without Husbandry Pro. Anyway, you guys will get to see the promo ad later on.
And you don't even have to put in your credit card for the trial. It's not Netflix where you got to remember to cancel it.
Exactly. I think I do always forget to add in that part. It is truly a free 30-day trial until you decide to actually sign up for an actual plan. Then that's when all the financial stuff comes into play. But let's go ahead. Say hi to everybody that's in the chat tonight. First, it's Holly from Texoma Exotics. What's up, Holly?
What's up, Holly?
Thanks for tuning in, girl. Everybody, if you don't know, I'm not tech savvy. So the intro, the outro, which you guys will get to see later on, the badass backgrounds that we've got going on, that's all Holly doing that for me. She helps make me look like I know what the hell I'm doing. Because y'all know, I don't know what the hell I'm doing at by this point yet anyway. So make sure you guys go check out Texoma Exotics, Holly there. Not only does she do this kind of stuff for like YouTube channels and stuff, she does logos, and she also has a really nice live stream she does every Wednesday. So go ahead and check out Texoma Exotics, guys. Give her a sub while you're there. Blue Zombie Morphs, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. JNS Exotics, James Perry, what's going on? Tara, what's up, girl? Thanks for tuning in. Another one of our channel members. Holly is also a channel member as well, guys. So much love to both of them. We got Zac in the chat and on the screen. Damn, tell you what, man, this guy.
I'm a multitasker.
You are, dude. I can't do that shit. If people want me to make them blue while I'm trying to run this, it's like, whoa, it's like you want me to run two different freaking screens here. And yeah, no, that shit don't happen. It's one, maybe twice a year I make people blue in the chat. So if you want to be made blue in the chat, you gotta wait till I get Froggy one of these nights and do like a solo live where I can like screw around a little bit. But this man here needs no introduction. Charlie from Gray Rider Reptiles, guys. If you guys need shed testing done, this is the man you want to go to. Gray Rider Reptiles, shedtesting.com. To I use Charlie. Also, I've got two sheds sitting here that I just got that you are going to be getting. Actually, you're going to be at least getting one. The second one I might have to send off either later, or I might have to send it off to RGI because I need. Do you hear that? All right. The kids are running around upstairs. It sounds like a freaking herd of elephants. It was just like, holy shit, waiting for them to fall down through the ceiling. But yeah, I need to get red stripe tested. So Charlie, you either got to pick up the pace on this red stripe testing thing or something. I need it now. It's kind of like the TSK test.
Hey,
but
you leave Charlie alone. I'm just waiting on the monsoon because I need to know that it's the same thing as Moray, because then I'm going to send him a whole bunch of shit.
Come on now, Zach. Look at it. Look at the damn animal. Look at it. Moray,
hey, mine are like 12.5% until proven otherwise. So,
oh,
I mean, I know what I got. Billy looked at them. I've had several people look at them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got it in there." But it don't mean nothing until I pop out a monsoon or Charlie sends me a little test result.
That's true. That's true. I feel you on that one. We got Jolly, Jeremy, and Holly. Thanks for the memories. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Jeremy, if Holly's with you, hopefully you either took her to the movie theater or hopefully you kept the kids so she could go to the movie theater and see the re-release of The Phantom Menace. That's where I was at today. I ate that much popcorn. I felt like I was going to be sick. Also very mad because the theater kept the lights on like halfway through all right, not halfway, quarter way through the freaking movie. They kept the lights on. It's like, whoa, turn that shit off. It's like, what theater does not turn the lights off right away? And then I was told about the special edition popcorn tub you were supposed to get. You go to see the movie in theaters. My theater didn't have the freaking tub, so I was pissed off about not getting my aluminum popcorn tub because I was going to use that down here in the snake room. I was going to put shit in it. And then I was also told that there was supposed to be like a deleted scene or an added in scene, and there was no freaking added in scene. I'm just like, what the hell is this shit? But I at least got to live part of my, what was that? Mid to late 90s, I guess Phantom Menace came out. I guess it would have been like late 90s. So I got to live a little bit of late 90s childhood over with my son, Dom. And it was funny because we sat there in the theater. He goes, huh, so this is what movies were like in the 90s. So yeah, they kind of didn't really freaking change, dude. He goes, yeah, I know, but the CG kind of sucks. It's like, yeah, well, there's that.
Hey, go watch the first ones that came out.
The first, I love the original three. The prequels I love. The last three just, yeah, they don't exist. Like worst, yeah. Dude, we could do a show all on talking about those last three and how terrible they were. Needless to say, I think it was the second one of the last trilogy. My wife got me tickets to go see it opening night. Middle of freaking December. I told her I didn't really want to go see it in theaters because I was that kind of like after the first one. She got me tickets anyway. Froze outside waiting to see this movie that I didn't really want to freaking see, but you can't tell your wife, no, I don't want these tickets that you just went and spent all this money on for Christmas for me. And there I got my special edition popcorn tin. Got it there. And at the end of the movie, I walked out and Dom goes, oh, that was pretty good. I looked at him. I was like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Pretty good. So I don't even know what the hell I watched. It's like, honest God, dude, like I looked at him. I was like, dude, it's like, I don't even know what to think about this because I was just so freaking dumbfounded about the ending of the second. I'm just like, I don't get this shit. Don't get it. Anyway, like I said, we could do a whole
when I went
thing.
To watch number 7, I fell asleep. Like I literally fell asleep during the movie. I couldn't I watched all the rest of them. I remember being a little kid watching, number freaking 4, 5, and 6, and just been like on the edge of my seat. And number 7 dropped, and I was like, all right, I'm waiting for it to come out, or on bootleg or something. So I have to go to movies and watch it. And like finally it comes out, I'm all like, I don't even think I made it 30, 45 minutes into it. I just still never seen it.
Trust me, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything out of those last three.
I enjoyed the little Netflix. What was it? The one with the bounty hunter with
the
Baby
Mandalorian.
Yoda. Yes, I enjoyed Mandalorian.
Mandalorian was good. Mandalorian was good. Book of Boba Fett was not what it could have been. It was decent, but they should have taken that whole thing in a total different direction. And then you've got the other ones. Andor was about a guy eating cereal being bashed on about his mom, or bashed on by his mom. And yeah. Ahsoka was okay. But yeah, anyway, dude, we could talk Star Wars all freaking night with me, man. Like, you could get me going on some of this shit. Anyway, Tim Mintpose, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. We got Clint from Tight Grip Pythons. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Our dad's gone crazy. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Casey, Golf's Reptiles. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Jolly says, smash that like button. Yes, everybody, please smash that like button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe as well. Greatly appreciate it. Carissa, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Did you eat your taco? How are you feeling after your tacos, by the way?
I'm feeling great. Great. Like, if you do not go to like a gas station or a food truck or someplace where at least one ceiling tile is missing in the roof to get your authentic tacos, they're not authentic. I don't care what they tell you.
Oh man, that's freaking hilarious, dude. That's kind of like a friend of mine. Our wives are best friends, so the wives went out to do something, and the guys got together, and we're like, all right, well let's get Chinese food, all right. And my friend is like legit like Chinese, so he's like, oh well, let's order from this one place. He goes, they might have something you like. I was like, well, I just kind of wanted like just plain Chinese food. He goes, all right, well, we can get Chinese food from this place down the street that's kind of in like an alleyway with a really shady like parking lot, but I think we'll be okay getting it from there. But I don't know, like we might die too. He goes, the hell with it. Let's just get it.
You better take him with. Make sure you take him with you if you try to go back.
Well, he had it delivered.
Oh, okay.
We never even had to go get it. But man, it was funny. Jeremy said Holly took the kids to watch it today. Awesome. DL Pythons, what's up? I got to meet them at the show yesterday. Greatly awesome to chat with you. If I were Derek, I do believe. Forgive me if I do have that butchered or if I forgot. Yesterday was quite a blur. And I'm trying to think if I had the helmet on at that point in time when you came up, Derek, because if I did, I probably was getting a headache because of breathing in so much carbon dioxide, because helmets don't breathe very well.
No, that was going to be my next question.
Helmet, you need a fan or you need an oxygen supply, because fiberglass helmets do not breathe very well.
Use one of those little net things that's got the fans around here. It'll shoot it up into the helmet.
That's what I needed. That, yes, I needed that, because it's all over my Instagram. Everybody, if you guys didn't check it out, go check out the Instagram. I got a bunch of awesome selfies with a bunch of the crew, and I was living in my heyday for a little bit for like the first 2 hours of the show, and I didn't realize that the show even opened up at first, because there was that little people coming through off the start. But by the time people started coming in is when I started getting my headache. And yeah, so hopefully you guys got to see me at least wearing it on Instagram. I know I got a bunch of people from the PA gang that were laughing their asses off at me, like this guy right here, Phil Snyder from Finger Snakes. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Phil was absolutely loving it. Holly just popped up in the backstage. But let's see here. Who else we got? They didn't. Oh my God, they didn't have the tins either for Holly. Oh, the freaking dirty bastards! I tell you what. Charlie, Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons, what's up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. Old Man Pies and Clowns, what's up? Let's see, Not Gonna Trip Again, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. All right, that catches us up. Oh, wait, what's Phil saying? He saw it in person. Yes, yes. Yes, there is the thing that Holly did for me. Although, Holly, we got to talk about what was your issue with not liking my rangefinder? Every picture here, Holly clipped off the rangefinder. We got Holly. We got to get you Star Wars tech savvy on this shit, girl. Just like she put in there in a quote about Luke, I am your father. And due to unpopular belief, that is not the line Darth Vader says, everybody. He never says, Luke, I am your father. Do you know what he exactly said, Zach? In Empire Strikes Back?
I don't remember.
Oh, my God. All right. So, for the record, everybody, Vader's actual line was, no, I am your father. And then that's when Luke's like, no. Anyway, all right. Star Wars lesson done for the night, everybody.
I didn't want to say it sounds stupid. I was like, I remember, like he says, I am your father, but I just didn't remember anything he says before that.
Yep, see, everybody thinks he says, Luke, I am your father. Phil, that is not up for debate, dude.
Look, I'm your father.
Phil's like, that's up for debate.
Look,
I will tell you this much, Phil. That is not up for debate, bro. That Empire Strikes Back is my shit. Like, that is where I live in Star Wars land, right? All right, like, that is my jam right there. All right, let's see. Holly, I can't believe
I hope someone's Googling him right now. I need some fact checks on this.
I can't believe Holly just said she hates Star Wars. What the hell? What the hell, Holly? Anyway, all right. Let's run. Like I said, we could turn this into a Star Wars show. We're 17 minutes in, and the only thing we freaking talked about was Star Wars. Let's run a sponsor ad real quick, and we'll dive into this live, everybody. Here we go. Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Make sure you check out Chris at S Reptilia. If you're looking for a ball python, boa, colubrid, blood python, he is the guy to go to. He's also a rat breeder on the eastern side of PA, and he is Pennsylvania's distributor of Cocoa to Go and the Chipper, which is by far the best cocoa substrate on the market today. So make sure you go ahead and check him out. What's up, God? Oh my God!
We already did that.
I was reading the freaking thing, and yeah. All right, it's Dalton. All right, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I said, yesterday was a long day. It did get crazy. Jim, what's up, dude? Jim says Empire Strikes Back is probably the third best. What? Man, Jim, you were up here, bro.
Y'all are going to get him started.
Y'all, and right here's going to be the guy that does it, too. This guy, Nathan, not only good friend, but also channel sponsor as well. But Nathan's going to, dude, if anybody's going to get me fired up, it's going to be that guy right there. The force is strong with the commercials. Yes. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Zach. How'd you get into all this, and just kind of walk us through what led you to where you're at right now?
Well, I got the same story that a lot of people have. I grew up country, always caught them outside and played with them. Got in trouble for taking a rattlesnake to school when I was 11. Got kicked out for that one. And I never even knew people could buy snakes. I was so country, like I had never heard of an exotic pet store or anything along those lines. And I remember, I think I was 25 or 26 before I knew anything about. I had never even heard of a reptile expo. I did not grow up in the city, and you didn't have stuff like that in the country. And so, every time I try to get something, they wouldn't eat right. You got to let them go. So I just got wild rat snakes and shit that I've kept. And I met a buddy at a job, and he's like, "Man, I got these corn snakes. Come check them out." And I'm like, "What you mean?" And so I go there, and he's got this wall of corn snakes. And I remember looking at all this, and I got an albino striped corn snake. It's the first one I got. And I was just like, "How much money you make doing this? That snake costs how much money? I'm going to do this." And so next thing you know, I had 5 corn snakes, and I was going to make all this money, and I was going to quit my job, and I was going to be a big corn snake breeder. And then I met my wife and knocked her up. That happened.
There was the corn snake breeding.
And, what's that?
I said they're
What
with
did
the
you
corn
say?
snake breeding.
Yeah, they're with the corn snake breeding. Immediately, she was like, "No, I don't think so." Like, she's not scared of them, but she's like, as soon as she ever held a corn snake, she's like, "No, get that out of here. It moves. It's squirmy. I don't want nothing to do with it." She threw enough of a fit, and she was pregnant and had my baby, and so she had the power. And so I let her get over on me that time. And so, like, I had just done my first pairings and stuff, and so they had paired and everything, and they went on to have babies for the people I sold them to, which was great. I was sad about that. And but 8 years later, I took my daughter to her first reptile expo, and she walked right past the lizards and the turtles and all the frogs, and went straight to the guy who had snakes and was like, "Can I hold one of those, Dad?" And I was all like, "Let me see if I can work this out." And my wife's just glaring, like
Now,
laser beams. And she's doing the freaking she's getting me. She's Vader in my.
No, would this be the baby that caused you to not be able to have the corn snakes? Your 8-year-old daughter? Okay, all right. So so everything has come full circle now to get back at your wife. All right.
And so that was my daughter she turns 15 tomorrow, and she was 8 years old when that happened. And I got a red tail boa, and that's Cheesecake. She's in the other room. She's going for her first season now, but she could have went before. And I bought Cheesecake for a pet, and she was a boa. And I started doing research because I had really wanted a ball python. I had, technically, actually, I didn't buy Cheesecake. I traded. I used to vend custom high-end knives, and I traded a custom high-end knife for my red tail. And I couldn't find anybody with a ball python who wanted to swap. And I like to swap. You know, I like to be in the reptile industry. And so, like, I ended up with this boa, and I liked her, but I wanted a ball python. I wanted an albino because they were cool looking. And so I did all this research and stuff, and I got prepared, and I came to my wife after like 6 months of looking this up. Like, I knew how to breed them. I knew how to sell them. I knew what I was going to do. Had the name of the business, initial logo, everything all worked out. And I set my wife down. I gave her like an hour and a half presentation that she hated and couldn't stand to be a part of.
Did you have a storyboard? Did you have a storyboard?
I did not have a storyboard, but I did have, I had YouTube videos. Like, I hate to even say this, but like Chris Hardwick is what helps sell my wife.
that right there should probably just did not help at all.
And so, I just went nuts. I sold my Harley. I put half of it, that's my wife's deal. She's like, "That's your business. Do whatever the hell you want with it. I will stay 100% out of it as long as you don't take money out of this family for it." And I've always had a motorcycle or an extra truck or something. And so, like, I had a really nice street glide, and I sold that, and I gave my wife half, and we put it down on a house, and I got the other half for the snake business. And so I had $5,000, and everything I have now, except for the building I'm sitting in, came from that $5,000. I did not put another dime of my own personal money back into it. I didn't put any of my wife's money into it. And I literally I've been doing this. It's only my fifth season. It feels like longer, my actual breeding season. And that's just one of my proudest things is like, this all came from me just saving every red cent I got, mapping down exactly how much my feeder production costs. I can tell you, what my freaking pinky cost me to produce it, and just keeping track of everything and having a business plan from the beginning. And I've been able to excel my collection and get up to selling better snakes and better snakes. My first most expensive snake was an ultra male. You see my colors, and she was $225. People talk about the economy. It was pastel, it was still like what they sell for now. This was 6 years ago. But I bought that, and I lost sleep over spending $225 on a snake. I was like so cheap about it. Like, there's no else way. That's just so cheap. Like, I didn't believe people would pay thousands of dollars for these things. I could see people paying hundreds for little pretty ones, but I couldn't see the vision there until I started actually selling them and then it's like, now it's like, I picked up a couple $5,000 males last year to advance some projects and stuff. And it's like, it's kind of crazy to see from where I started to where I ended up, and I'm not done yet. So.
Oh, dude, I'm right there. Like, I remember when I first started buying stuff, I'm just like, oh man, like I couldn't see the thousands of dollars in some of these animals. I'm just like, there's like no freaking way that animal's like, I
This
just
one's
didn't see it.
prettier.
Yeah, like the little cheapy thing was way prettier than the expensive thing. Now, I mean, I technically haven't broken the $2,000 for one animal yet. So maybe I've been being cheap, but maybe I've just been buying the right stuff. But I mean, I think probably the most expensive one is probably still about $1,500. But yeah, I haven't broken that 2,000 wall yet. Josh here has a question. They want to know the value of a banana firefly. They rescued one from their neighbor. Man, and the way, I mean, it depends if it's an adult, male, female, but I help on that one, Zach, because I'm trying to even think. I mean,
A baby male at a show, $150.
you think that'd be about 150?
Yeah, like I would stick it on the table for 200, but
You'd go down, wiggle room down to 150.
Yeah, I mean, on Morph Market, you're going to find something like that for 100, 125 bucks right now.
Which is really
still sell it for more at a show, though.
I was just talking to somebody. Well, actually, my buddy that breeds boas today about that, and it's like the price of what people are charging. Or no. I was talking to Chris from Balls Deep about it. It wasn't my Mike, my other buddy. I was talking to Chris from Balls Deep about Morph Market and prices and stuff, and he was right. It's like before Morph Market, the prices were higher on Morph Market than what they were at shows. Now Morph Market is show priced, if not less than show price. It's kind of freaking crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
scary.
Well, and some of the stuff, it depends on what shows you're at. You know, like I try to steer clear of a lot of the larger shows. Like if I do go to one, it's just I chalk it up for marketing and just networking and stuff, and don't plan on making money because that's not where I make it. I make it at these little shows. And because at these smaller shows, you know, a banana still goes for $150 where you can buy one on Morph Market for $75 because probably somewhere between 70 to 80% of the customers who walk through the door at a reptile expo, a small reptile expo, don't even know what Morph Market is. You know, like people get in their head about thinking like, oh, it's Morph Market. Morph Market's everything. But you'd be surprised. You know, like it's everything and it sets the market whenever you're looking at like your investment animals and stuff, I feel like. You know, and people will sell stuff cheaper at a show because you've already looked at it online and you're going to the show. The reason you didn't buy it online is because you want a better deal on it. And that's really what it is. Or you wanted to look around and see some other options. And so you'll get to the show and it'll be 10%, 20% cheaper, or, you know, cash talks and you're at the show. That's why I go to the show to see a big high-end animal. But the little pet snakes and stuff like that, if it's pretty, you know, like I just sold a bunch of albinos last weekend, Candinos and stuff for $250, $350, and you can buy them on Morph Market for $150 to $250. You know, I don't think of it as I'm overcharging for them. I think of them as you got people who are desperate and trying to give their stuff away because they can't afford to feed it. It's like my snake, that snake that I'm selling has more value in it. You know, I put the work into it. I bred it. I fed it. I got it switched over to frozen thawed. It's well established. You know, I'm providing the customer service that goes after it, before it, and all throughout it. And one of these, you know, these ones who are sitting there just dumping the prices online, you know, there's people who are desperate. You know, they didn't know what they were getting into. And those people are the people, they're not willing to do shows. They're looking for an easy way to sell something. They don't, you know, want to put forth the extra effort to do the shows, or they can't. Some people schedule wise and stuff can't do it, but you got to think about that before you get into this. You got to have a way to move those animals. And if Morph Market's the only thing you got, and you're a new guy, the only way you're going to stand out from the next guy is racing him to the bottom.
Yep. And then that's also what leads to prices doing what they do now, is that race to the bottom, sadly. Ashley, Nikita, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Another awesome channel members there, Ashley and Nikita. Thank you very much for all the love and support. Josh says it's a 2-year-old male. So, yeah, I would say probably no more than like $200. I'm sure somebody looking just for a pet would probably pay that for that. Sean Pinejoy, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. I know I was actually last week's episode I had after the show was over, I was talking backstage with Brian from Bane of My Exotics, and we got into a conversation, and I'll just use that as a segue into it. When you're pricing your animals, all right, what are you worried about? I don't know, how can I word this into the context of him and I were talking about it? How do you go about pricing your animals? Do you worry about what other people are pricing theirs at? Or do you look at it as what you feel that it's worth, and the hell with everybody else's thoughts? If you're higher or if you're lower, you're pricing it where you feel that price needs to be. Or how do you go? What's your thoughts on that? Because I know some people are afraid of being that low baller, and that you're going to be that person that tanked the project because of your pricing.
Well, and it depends on what I'm pricing too. I mean, I've got a good sampling to pull my numbers from, because I do 25-ish shows. I did 25 shows last year. I'm on the schedule for 25 or 26 this year. And that's not including the shows I go to for Husbandry Pro. So, I'm at a show every other weekend. I've had 3 weekends off this year. So, like, I see the prices, and I wouldn't be doing due diligence if I wasn't walking around seeing what the show prices were and what people were charging on them. But like, I don't take into account whenever I see somebody who's never been at this show before, who just got there, who's got, maybe just a blank tablecloth and a few deli cups, like, I'm not even looking at their prices. I'm walking right past them. I'm looking at everyone who's got nice setups. What are all the people who are going to be here next month pricing their stuff at? Yeah. Not necessarily what is someone trying to give away so they can feed it, because ultimately, like, I'm not going to race to the bottom on certain things. Certain things, it's like, we make more money on them, like profit. Yeah. When I buy a, expensive snake, especially something like, take, for example, my stranger male, I was able to sell 3 snakes and recuperate 100% of my investment on that animal. And then I still had several more animals left to sell. So, my profit is there because I invested in a genetic like that. It's not like I'm trying to make $100 profit, like I've got one of these animals and say, it doesn't matter. Even a normal, I'm down to basically a normal costs me about $100. Any snake costs me $100 minimum to get it to, just to have the egg and to feed it and to get it into your hands costs me a minimum of $100. If I sell any animal for under $100, that's what I consider an acceptable loss. And you just do it because that's the state of the market and you have to. But I will sit right there at a show and sell $40 normals left and right. And I literally sat right next to a guy who had a box, an acrylic box like this with 20 normals all in it, just same box, look, presented real nice, and had a sign on it said $10 a piece. And he did not sell a single one of those. And I sold 4 $40 normals that weekend. It's presentation. It's, selling myself and my animals and being proud of what I have. And understanding that I'm not just giving these things away, like there was thought that went into this. I'm not giving them to somebody for $10 to neglect or freaking use for a feeder.
Yeah. That was, I actually did an episode about that with some carpet python guys and Nathan from Infinite Possible Pythons. We talked about a meme a friend of mine put up that said, "Oops, all normals." And it was like a thing on like a cereal box. It was funny. And it kind of put into that thought. It's like, you know what? That's kind of how a lot of people in the industry and hobby look at it. They're like, oh, crap, I hit normals. I mean, okay, yeah, we don't want to hit them, but we also shouldn't devalue them to the point where they're a $10 snake, because that's not right either. Like, I mean, God, I feel bad when I put $20 on one. Like,
I will find somewhere to wholesale it at that price before I will sell it to the general public at that. I will not do it. If they're not willing to spend, $40 is probably the cheapest I've ever lowered some. I mean, I think I took 30 on a couple of them. Did like a little half price deli cup sale, like when the racks start getting full. Wholesalers have been a little, that's one thing that's been like real rough, through this downturn is, your wholesalers, it didn't take them long to get full.
Oh, no. Well, see, and that's another thing too. And I want people to think about this. Go to your local pet shop. See what your local pet shop is selling stuff at. The prices will make you rethink what we as breeders sell things at shows. You like, for instance, I went to my local pet shop and the price of a normal was $80 or $90. I forget. It was 80 or 90. My jaw dropped. I was like, wait, here it's like everybody's here giving normals away basically. But yeah, pet shops are moving these things for 80 or $90. It's like, okay, so where are we going wrong that we can't move them for 80 or $90 if the pet shop can do it for 80 or $90? And it makes the wheels turn a little bit.
Our pet shop here is murderous, man. We got there's a couple in there, but one of them had a fire, so they're shut down right now while they're rebuilding. So there's just the one real big store, and they price straight off Morph Market.
Really?
What? I've never seen a pet store that did that. And, and he's all like, well, I'm putting low price animals in people's hands. And, and he prides himself on that. And he's real happy about it. He runs a really nice store. It's really clean. It's DFW Reptarium. And it's probably one of the nicest pet stores I've ever been in. Okay. Super clean, super well ran. But I'm like, how are you making money? And it's, and it's rough, man. Because you have to compete with the pet stores here. You get out of Dallas a couple hours, and you're talking PetSmart, and here I think they went down to like $60 on normals. They came down a little bit. They used to be, I remember they used to be $99 for a long time.
As Josh says, Petco in Oklahoma is $99. Yeah, it just Jim here says the big one around here is about 25% over Morph Market. Okay. Now I know like I always just look at the prices, and a lot of the stuff I see go in, and the pet shop that I've got close to me is a phenomenal pet shop. I'm not gonna lie. Beautiful displays. They care about their animals. Absolutely love the pet shop itself. But it's like, man, the prices, it's just like, it makes you think a little bit on it. And it's just like, sometimes it gets my wheels turned. It's like, all right, is it that we're not marketing to the correct audience to be able to get those prices? Do we need to start hitting other platforms? Maybe hit some of these Facebook groups a little bit differently. I don't know. Because I figure the majority of the public is probably on some stupid Facebook group where they get bashed if they ask questions or whatever, because that seems to be the fun, cool thing to do. So I don't know. Like I've contemplated a little bit on some of that stuff as to how to, and I know just me doing it isn't going to do a damn thing. I mean, I'm only one freaking person. But how could we as a hobby and industry take from that and bring, be like, all right, well, if they're getting these prices, why the hell can't we get these freaking prices? So it's something I just kind of think about a little bit. I do want to shout out.
Kike, what's up? I used to do really good on the Facebook groups and stuff. Like I run the local Dallas, the Dallas Ball Python group, and I'm in a lot of, the Texas groups and stuff. And I used to do really good, but Facebook started cracking down on them. And like even the groups that'll let you like sneakily word it and stuff, there used to be more shoppers, because what I've seemed to have found is the people who are buying stuff on Morph Market are your beginning level breeders. They went ahead and found the groups and stuff. The customers who are, and those people seem to be looking for deals, because your Facebook group users are more of your internet people. And so they're looking at Morph Market. And so if you're trying to sell something in the user group, you're going to get a bunch of messages, and, and I get a bunch of them, but it's, oh, okay. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, wow. Stuff like that. And it's like, it can be right in line with Morph Market, and they'll still tell you that they want it half price. And that's what they're looking. They're deal sniping. They're looking to find somebody in the group who's freaking, having a fire sale or something. And then the new people I tend to find in the groups are people who went to a reptile expo or a pet store and got one, and either A, they couldn't care for it and got crap information about how to care for it, how to get it to eat and stuff, and so they came to Facebook, or B, they're ready to get rid of it now. They don't know what to do with it, and someone told them to come on Facebook. And so you get a lot of people who are just, in the group that come in who have one snake or two or three snakes, and they're moving, or their dog is allergic to it, and, whatever reason they have, like it's not getting the attention it deserves. That's my favorite one.
Oh God, yeah. Like I had someone say something to me about, yeah, like we just can't give it that as much attention as it wants. I'm there thinking it's like it probably doesn't want any freaking attention at all.
Right.
Honestly,
It loves you. Well, it doesn't love, but it likes you a lot better now that you're not. I'm
yeah,
sure. Are you still feeding it?
Yeah,
Likes you just fine.
As long as the food's still coming in, they don't give two shits. Oh man. So, all right, let's get back on the topic here. I took us off topic again. Damn it.
I have that same problem.
I knew this was going to be a hard live to stay on topic with you just because we kind of got that, like, we've got that chemistry to we can veer off and we'll both just kind of run with it. It's good, but it's bad. So, what are some of the species you're working with right now? Because I know you've got a good bit, and I know we'll dive into each of them a little bit as well, too.
You're about to get the full list that nobody has. My wife doesn't even have this list. I've been kind of hush-hush because I've had some things for a while, and a lot of people know, like I've had a few boas, red tails. Cheesecake was my first, and then I've had a carpet for a few years. I think about 3 years. And I had a carpet before that too. Pandora. I got a new Pandora. You know why. Don't open the box. Yep. And so it was just like pretty much that. And then I had, a king snake for obvious reasons. If you're new out there and you don't know yet and you just started breeding, go ahead and find you an adult king snake now.
I say I need to get a king snake. I've got plenty of friends that have them. But
now I've got a Tegu because, king snake's only good for one every now and then. Tegu, it's like 2, 3. Oh, you had a bad clutch of some freaking 8 balls. Bring them on over. Fifi's gonna love it. I don't like to do it, but hey, it's natural. You don't waste that where I come from. Yep. Cycle of life. But so I've had those for a while, but I've been going a little nuts since last year, and and I came to a realization, I had to, kind of shift my goals a little bit because I was going like for the moon and stuff. And I realized that's not necessarily where I wanted to play. That doesn't involve doing a lot of shows and stuff. It really doesn't. It involves more networking and spending more money on more expensive snakes and selling yours. You don't really have to do a lot of shows for that. And I like doing the expos. I really do. I genuinely love doing it. I don't know if you can tell, but I like talking. And it gives me a vent to do that. Plus, get people, man, I love nothing better than getting someone who's never held a snake. I'm that guy. I'm an antagonizer. I'm an instigator. I could be considered a bad influence in some circles or a good influence in the right circles. I'm like, come on over, just touch the tail, touch it a little. I'll get the big one and hold it way over here, But, I love that. So I've started refocusing a little bit and making sure, that I have stuff for these shows to get these people involved in, and I'm not just making super expensive stuff. I'm still doing that with my ball pythons. The ball pythons will be my main focus, and that is where I'm going to investment level animals and stuff. And I've got some really nice stuff cooking, but I've also got what I call the 10%, and it's just to make pretty stuff that I want to make that I haven't found combos to. Like I've got a chocolate trick Mojave leopard that I want to run to at orange dream, yellow belly, pastel champagne. Like some crazy stuff, But so in the past year, I now have multiple sets of rosy boas, multiple sets of pits.
There's not many people at all that have rosy boas. I don't think I've seen a rosy boa at a show.
Yes.
For God, I don't know how long. I mean, there might be one
like an occasional one on like the poker table or something, or the Wildcott table. Someone freaking collected a sample in California or something. But it'll be like they got one. Everybody's got the other ones, the ones that look more like worms, the sand boas or what?
Yeah, the sand boas are creepy.
And so, I like the rosies because they have a little bit of a neck and a little bit of a head, unless you just overfeed them a lot. So I've got some pairs of rosies. I might have babies this year. They've been breeding. Could be my first rosies. Some rosy boa hater, some locale specific person's going to hate on me for this, but it's a Ortiz to a San Felipe ghost. We're gonna see what happens. And then I've got multiple pits now, or gopher snakes. I like those because the bull snakes always excited me. I love how they feel. Like that keeled scale. A lot of people like that, but they get so big, and they can be so kind of huffy and pissy. And so I'm trying to stay with more mainstream, more readily acceptable size variation. So I'm sticking with San Diego gophers that are on the that's the smallest in that species. Applegate albino, few clutches of those a year. I've got some Applegate albino, and then I've got a stripe Applegate albino. So I'll be making some hets and stuff, but it's pretty table stuff. Next season, I've got Colombian rainbow boas for leucistics. You have to do visual to head on those. So I've got a visual male and a het female. She's proven. He's not, but they're definitely go next time. What's up, Mission Morphs?
I will say this, dude. Rainbow boas are freaking gorgeous. I would never own one, but they are gorgeous.
Why not?
Just because boas don't really excite me. About the only boa I would want to add is an IMG.
Like holding a carpet python.
Oh, dude, there's whoa. Don't you dare ever compare anything to a carpet python. Unless it's something really, really smart, like maybe a retic. You can maybe compare a retic to a carpet. I'll let you do that. A carpet python, there's nothing on earth like a carpet.
Hey, you go tell that to retic people. They'll tell you to get a real snake.
But no, man, carpets are where it's at for me. Like my buddy Mike, he breeds boas. He literally was trying to give me. It was an IMG Motley something.
Doesn't matter. That's the blackness already. IMG Motley. You told me enough.
Yeah, dude, it was like a couple $1,000 snake. It was a het for some other stuff, I looked at him. I was like, dude, I don't really want to. He goes, what? Because, dude, this thing's like worth several thousand. It's like I enjoy coming over. I enjoy checking them out at your place. So, but there's just something about the head that I don't know what it is. I like
it. I like a little dark head, a little mustache. They all got the mustache. How can you not dig it? They got the goatee. You got a goatee. Come on. Self-love. Don't be hating.
Scott here. Scott says, Jeremy, carpet's got nothing on retics, homie. Retics are a whole different world. That's right.
I knew you were going to get somebody with a retic.
Carpets are better, Scott. You're right. That's what the whole world.
That's right. It's not a two-person snake.
Yeah. I can handle mine with one person and not worry about getting fully eaten. Carpet's only going to take a hand, maybe.
Wait until we start getting some nice line breds selectively, super high, super dwarf, albino stuff. I might end up having one, but it'd have to be like, oh, yeah, this female's 9 years old and she's 11 foot long, and not, oh, look, this female's 5 years old and she's 9 foot long. That's as big as she's going to get. I'm like, you better go tell that shit to someone else. I know better.
Scott does have some beautiful retics. I'll give him that. But man, retics just ain't my thing. Boas though, back to the boa thing. Boas, I like looking at them. That's just kind of where it starts and stops.
I like all snakes, all of them.
Oh, I like them. I just don't want to own them.
When I started this business, my wife had 2 rules, and aside from that, I get to do whatever I want. No 2 people snakes, no venomous. And I push the lines.
Scott says he's got small retic super dwarfs. And Mission, yes, talking carpets. Yes, we are talking jungle carpets, coastal carpets, the actual carpet pythons.
Well, all right. So let's get back on. Let's get back on there. I'm shooting for leucistic Colombians, and the Colombians are smaller they're smaller, much more docile than the Brazilians. So the Colombians, I really feel like make closer to a better starter pet than definitely I would not consider a Brazilian a starter pet. But I've got a hypo Brazilian male and a het hypo Brazilian rainbow female. And so they'll go next year and hopefully make me some hypo Brazilians and some het hypo Brazilians. So I'll have a couple of those running for me. I've got 2 different adult breeder boas now. Both of them will be going for sun glow combos. One of them I have an outside shot for a red dragon, but like 66 on both sides has to prove out. I got to get really lucky on that one.
What's the difference between a red dragon and a sun dragon?
Oh, sorry. I'll be making sun glows, and I have a shot at a red dragon.
Okay. Well, what's the difference between a sun dragon and a red dragon, though?
I don't
know. Okay.
That's a python. It's not a boa.
I'm just trying to make it. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I want to make some pretty boas, okay? They're pretty. I looked up and I learned enough to know how to make the sun glows that I wanted in the first place when I got cheesecake. And then the red dragon thing happened to be coincidental. I looked it up and I was like, Yahtzee. All right, hope I hit that. That's pretty, and I'll get a big return on my investment.
All right,
but that's only if I don't keep it. I'd probably keep it. I've got some other boas growing up. I've got an IMG pastel female growing up that Vince Russo produced. Okay. I've got a nice leopard hypo female growing up as well. She's like pink. Nice. So I got the black girl, and then I've got the red girl. She's like pink and red. I really like those two. But that's, those are not even yearlings yet. Those freaking things will be 4 or 5 years. But breeders kind of went a little more nuts on some carpets. I think you already know that. We'll get into your realm here.
Beautiful carpet pythons.
So as of right now, I have 3 breeder bred live females. 2 of them, it'll be their first time to go, hopefully this next season. The big girl, I tried to get her this season, but she didn't get cycled real good. And I won't care if she didn't go because she went 2 years ago. And when she went then, she dropped 42 eggs.
Holy
yeah, she's my biggest girl. She's a 9 foot, 11-year-old bred live female. I love taking her to the show and sitting up right next to the other people who have carpet pythons. And I whip her out all the time while he's sitting there talking to him about how they don't get over 5 feet. And I'm like, how you doing?
See, that's what I
can't dive into carpets too big because I'll get into some shit with some carpet breeders over some of their practices. That's for sure. Like I just want to make some pretty ones and try to stay out of it.
Yep. See, that's what I've had multiple people ask me, how big will it get? And I tell them, it's like, all right, your average for a jungle, about 6 foot. 5 to 6 foot is probably your average for a jungle. I was like, but I've also got a male sitting at home that's 7 foot, and his mom was 8 foot. And I was actually got to talk with the breeder that produced my male, Xena, that you guys get to see right there, which is the sire of all the clutches for this year, same as last year. But I was talking with the breeder that produced him and just kind of catching up a little bit. And he was just like, man, he goes, that thing just turned out beautiful. He goes, that's one of those ones where seller's remorse kind of.
But you don't know what they're going to look like until they get older because they're like brown. I remember looking at them when they're babies, and I'm like, I don't want that. That thing's all brown and ugly. And then I saw some adults, and I was like, where do these things come from? And they're like, that's those. And I was like, you're fucking lying. That is not the same snake. I thought for sure this guy was trying to get over on me, and it's like, that is not the baby from that snake. I'm not buying this. This guy's an idiot.
Nope. I feel like that color change is nuts. But we were talking about just the mom of him, like being how big she was, and talking to him about some of the babies I've hatched and stuff. He's like, yeah, some of those babies might end up kind of on the bigger side too if they take after grandma and dad, because they are on the larger size. Because I mean, Xena's, which I know Xena is a male. Okay, so you can't. He's had the name for so long. He's just identifying differently now. He is way bigger than.
That's why you're growing his son up to replace him. He doesn't like the ladies anymore.
No. He does the job very well with the ladies. Let me tell you. His son is growing at an alarming rate too, and once his son is up to size and sires a clutch, I might let Xena go. Maybe we'll see. but damn he makes some beautiful babies. Yeah, I know, dude. I think you might just want one of the babies though. I mean, you saw what them babies look like. Like they were
nice. They were nice.
They are.
I love all the tipping and stuff.
Level.
Like, I want to go for like that mangrove snake look. I want bright yellows. I think you said you didn't want the bands, or maybe that was a side project. I want the bands with the tipping.
See, I want to do one project where it's all tipping, where it basically looks like a diamond python, essentially, just without the diamond in it. And then I want to do a project working towards getting rid of all the yellow and trying to get that velvety black that they've got.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something where if no one's ever seen a carpet in person, jungle carpets have a black, which to me cannot be matched. It gives this velvety, I don't know, it just looks like velvet.
The diamonds are dark like that too.
Are they? I mean, I didn't know. I know, like the jungles, they've just, those blacks are like a velvety black, like they look like they would be soft and slightly fuzzy feeling, but I don't know, that black paint on them is out of this world. So I want to try to make an all black carpet at some point. Now, I thought I had one baby.
It's close to getting a Palmerston, but I'm like, it doesn't go with the females that I've got. I really, I'm not trying to go darker with those. Because I got the Wow line female that'll go next season.
Oh, yeah.
Pure jungle, and she's a super nice example, like so bright yellow, no dirt in her rings, just super clean.
Yep.
And then I think I showed you a picture. I've got a 75% diamond, 25% jungle girl. I'd like to put her back to a nice jungle or to a 50-50, something like that. Anyone in the audience has a nice jungle 50-50 diamond or something like that male for me?
not going to point it. Not going to point any fingers. You know what? I did. It was funny. I got my mail back from Nathan, and so many people wanted to buy him at the show from me. But it is like, the mail that I got back. His name's Hercules. He has lineage. I guess it'd be his great grandmother or great great grandmother was cover girl, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the most famous carpet pythons of all time, just because she was on the cover of Reptiles magazine. But that was the snake that made me excited and want to get a carpet, was that snake on that cover. I remember that. I remember it to this day. And when I found this male that had lineage back to her, it was a done freaking deal. Now, yet this male has yet to sire a clutch for me. So next season, Zena's taking the year off, and that boy's getting put to work for a little bit. But next year, we're probably only going to do one carpet clutch. I don't know. I don't know if Chris is going to let me take it again.
I don't have too many, and I'm torn about how many breadlie clutches I want to make, because like breadlie are my favorite, just for handleability. They're like freaking gentle giants, Like, I mean, I've even the ones that I've got as babies were, maybe a little bit food aggressive in the beginning, but you just get them. And like, I haven't had any problems with them, being extra nippy. They're just super sweet. I like the ones that get a little bit bigger, because I look at it as like, that's one of the biggest snakes you can get and not hit a 2-person snake, True. So because they're the biggest of the species. But on like those, like I've got some babies that I'm taking right now, I've got a couple more males and one more female breadlies, het stripe, and I'll take them to the show, and I'll take mom and dad. And I like to show them, because I want people to know what you might get into. I'm like, look, here's mom. She's 9 foot long, 11 years old. Here's dad. He's 7 foot long. He's 9 years old. Understand that you need to have a cage for something like this when you get this. And I'll make sure that they're properly represented, because your breadlie, they're the biggest. If they don't get 7-8 feet, you were starving it probably.
Oh wow! And that's what
as far as female.
I think it's important too, and I need to start doing it. I just need more table space. I also need what? See, that's another reason why, like that male that I held back, that's all tipped out. I'm anxious for him to get some more size to him, because I feel as though having the babies there and then having something adult wise helps sell the babies as well, because you can be like, look, this ugly duckling does not stay the ugly duckling. That's the worst this snake's ever going to look. It only gets better as it ages. I think that's what some people don't realize, because then they see the ball python that looks all pretty, and that, as a baby, the balls, that's the best it's going to look normally. As they get older, normally they look worse. Where carpets are the exact opposite, which is why.
Oh yeah, there's a guy who does like one of the local circuits that I do, who like as far as snakes go, only does carpets, and he most of the time just goes on Morph Market and buys them, or finds people rehoming their stuff, and he will take babies if they're like really pretty, like jungle diamonds or something like that. But no, he wants your yearlings to 2 years old that have already gotten bright, and he will throw them on the table for $2,000 to $4,000 and sell them. I'm like, are you nuts, dude? Like, you can buy them. He is a used car salesman, literally, and all of his carpets on his table are 4 to 6 times whatever they are on Morph Market. Dude, and he didn't produce one of them. And he sells them because, like, he sells them the dream. He's just a killer salesman, you know, but he also tells people they're a good first pet. Don't buy a ball python or a corn snake. They're bad first pets, you know, but he hustles some people. But because they're beautiful and bright and nobody else at the show has them, if you have it, he'll just come buy it from you. And then he'll turn around and put it right on his table for quadruple the price and be like, thank you. He won't even haggle with you on the price.
That's freaking nuts, man. Because, like, I don't care if anybody knows, because if you're going to buy a carpet from me, you're going to find out anyway. My base price for a jungle carpet is $400. Male, female, I don't care. It's $400. And that's basically, if you look on Morph Market or at shows, that's essentially what that price line is on a jungle carpet. It's $400 or $500. If you have an exceptional example, it's going to go a little bit higher, but on average, it's $400 is kind of that sweet spot with them. But like you said, there's not many people that have them. Now, here in PA, there's a couple more people that do have them, but we're kind of spread out, and we've kind of got different things going on with our projects than the others do. So it's kind of like we've got the same shit, but we don't have the same shit. My biggest competitor, and I'm good friends with him now, is Mike Curtin from Scattershot Exotics. Man's probably got some of the best jungles in the whole freaking industry. And he's in my backyard, which is good and bad because it tempts me so much more to be buying some of his shit. But he's got a clutch he actually hatched out, or they didn't hatch yet. They just got laid. But I'm waiting to get something off of him from the one clutch he just got.
Yeah, I don't have too much problems. You know, I haven't had too many to sell, though, honestly. You know, I'll have a lot next year. From 6 different species of carpet python females. But like, it's not much of a problem where I'm at, because you've got this guy who sells them like for astronomical prices. So as long I just price my stuff in line with the market, you know, I price them what they're worth. You know, a fair price. I don't charge crazy money for them, but I don't freaking blow them out or anything either. And then the only other person who does carpet pythons is Michael Pinnell. Which that's old head, you know, he's got his own lines of shit, but thankfully he's moved most of his shit into coastals. It's the only carpet python I don't like.
See, coastals, I saw a really nice coastal. I felt really bad for it. The thing was kind of in a smaller, in a giant deli cup, which was, I mean, the poor thing needed more space than that. But anyway, they're the coastals give you that Xanthic look. So I kind of like the look of the coastals, but
too brown for me. Like, there's certain combos that look nice, but most of those involve Jag or whatever it's called, the one that gives the wobble and stuff. And it's like, and I'm not trying to mess with it. There's just too many other species that I like. You know, I like the reds from the Bread Lies. I didn't think I really liked the IJs, but I got a pair of them once I started looking at like multi-generational stuff. So I got like a male that Nick Mutton produced, and he's got 6 generations of lineage, and he is freaking insane. He looks nothing like this wild caught IJ female I've got. You know, she was wild caught. My buddy got her when she was a baby. Her name's Steve Sherman, because like he died, so I named the snake in his honor. But you know, I've had her for 5 years, you know, and she's like 5 foot long, and I'm like, I like her. You know, she was my first carpet python, my second carpet python. But I was going to make some like carpet hybrids or something with her, because I'm like, IJs. You know, they're still on the wild caught table, you know, like you have a hard time selling those for $300. And it's like, and I'm not going to sell it for less. I don't care what they sell for. It's going on my table for a minimum of $300.
Yeah.
But then I started looking into them and seeing like these really nice ones that have been selectively bred. And that freaking male I got from Nick is just insane. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me hit anything that looks like that in that clutch. It's not even going on my table for less than $500. Like, you know, and people would pay for it because it's pretty, man. That freaking, people have been doing a lot with it.
See, that's one thing the carpet market, there's not so much competition. So you are able to command a little bit better price if, as you know, because you don't have that especially at shows. If you don't got the competition, I mean, you're kind of that guy then at that point. So
then they're all at least $400 snakes or $500 snakes, whatever you put on them.
Yeah, and they're worth it. Like, there's nothing more rewarding than working with these guys. Nothing more rewarding than working with them. Honest to God, everybody.
Well, you know, and honestly, when I'm selling them, I don't want to attract new buyers to buy a carpet python. You know, I mean, I don't feel like that, you know, they make the great starter pet that some people say. You know, I mean, they're nippy. I feel like they make a great second or third pet.
Yep.
You know, and I feel like that might also depend on which ones you get. You get an IJ or you get in a jungle. If you're getting an IJ, yeah, good second snake. You're getting a jungle, you better toss a coin because that might be more like a 5th snake or a 10th snake, depending on what you get with that jungle.
I laugh.
You know, you might just get the chillest snake or you might get freaking Lucifer.
All right, I laugh because Xena is still, you can't just go in and pull Xena out, all right? You got to work him out. And by working him out, I mean open up the enclosure and try to really coax him out with a hook. If you can get him to come through halfway out, you're safe. To, you know, reach in and pull him the rest of the way out. You've got to let him make that decision. Now, the babies that I held back, my 2 holdbacks are little gems. Like little freaking gems, man. Like you just reach in there, pull them out. They don't bite, nothing. That's how all the clutch was when they left here. You could just reach in the tubs and pull the babies out. After they left here,
when they
left here, someone flipped the demon switch on basically 3/4 of them. They became little assholes for everybody. If I recall,
like Nathan is just.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say
like a lot of it's just, you know, not experience with the handling and stuff. You know, it's hesitation because they look like little assholes, and you open the tub and they're like, "Sup, fool? What you got for me?" And if you're a new keeper, you're like, you don't know what to do with that. And you're like, oh, they're an asshole. But you and I both know, you open that, you just reach in there and you grab them. Yeah. You know, and I don't get bit. If I sit there and I'm like, yeah, I just got bit. I just got bit right there. As soon as
you acted like the predator, and yep. And here's Nathan. See, I knew Nathan was gonna jump on this one too, because last time I was over, he was telling me how this thing's such a little jerk all of a sudden now. And I picked it up. I was holding it. It was fine with me while I was holding it. Completely fine with me. Now, everyone else around it, he wanted to eat. It was funny.
Well, It bonded with you is what you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like, hey, daddy came to visit me. Okay. And now I'm going to ward off everybody else, so maybe daddy takes me back home and, you know, takes me back to the household there. But
what did you do to that snake, Nathan?
What'd you ask?
I said, what did you do to that snake, Nathan?
Dude, he must have been telling he's gonna feed it to the birds or something, man, the way he acted. Whew. I mean, like poor Chris there from S Reptilia was in the room. Chris was just walking by, like he wasn't looking at it. His back was to the thing, and this thing's sitting there just striking like crazy at poor Chris. Just like, he did have a little bit of a personality difference from when he left here. That's for sure. He says he loves his handler, but nobody else around stands a chance.
I talk them down. I'm Dr. Doolittle, man. My wife says it all the time. Like they'll be all like pissy, and I'm sitting there with the door open, just looking at them like, "What are you mad at? Why are you being mean to Dad?" And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm talking him down." I was like, "He's stressed out. I'm using my baritone and being sweet to him." And you know, like they'll be sitting there striking for a little bit, and she's all like, "That snake's gonna bite you." And I was like, "Just wait." And, I'll sit there and talk to them for like 5 or 10 minutes. Next thing you know, they're like crawling around. Next thing you know, she looks back over there. I'm holding it. And she's all like, how did you do that? And I was like, we bonded. I was just being sweet to it. I let it know daddy loves it, even though it can't love me back.
Yep, you gotta make sure that daddy knows, or that the baby knows daddy's not gonna eat it.
Yes.
But anyway,
like,
all right, what else?
My daughter will do it. Like, I'll put my hand out and just let them come up and sniff it. Don't put it in their face where they can strike it, but I'll just leave it there forever. They'll come up and start sniffing it eventually. They might bite it. I don't know what it smells like.
Dude, I in all honesty, I've had ball pythons do more ninja-like things than the carpets. I had a ball python, got her from John and Christine from Triforce. Beautiful pewter leopard. What was it? Pewter leopard lace female. She's gorgeous, dude. Gorgeous. She'll let you hold her, make you think everything's all hunky-dory. And right when you let your guard down, she just cocks her head and just latches on to your freaking hand. It's just like, what the hell? We were good. Like, we were friends. So I've called her the little nigger. Cool. Dude, she did it once. All right. I learned quick. Okay. So whenever I get her out now, I'm kind of like really watching that head, waiting for the head to she just goes like this and the head tilts off to the side. And that's when it's going to happen. And a couple weeks after she did that first one, she tried to do it again and her head kicked over. And I saw the mouth start to open up. I pulled my other hand away real quick. I said, honey, you ain't getting me twice. Shit ain't happening again.
Oh, yeah. I felt the wit in my jungle. Oh, when she got me, when I got her, she's never got me. I've only ever been bitten by one carpet python. But my jungle, whoo, boy, you open her tub and she's just, pew, pew, as soon as she opened it. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting there just getting her out, holding her. She's still a little bit of a jerky, but I can get her out now. I don't use a hook. It's really easy to get my carpets that are in a tub out without a hook. It's a little harder whenever they're in an enclosure just because, if I can't get, sometimes their face is right there, you got to watch that shit. But that's the one time I got my bread lie boy. He's sweet as hell, but he was sitting there and he was sleeping. And I fucked up and made the mistake of assuming that he was, awake and looking and knew that I was in there without looking to see if his tongue was flicking or anything. And I moved my hand to adjust his water bowl this far in front of his face, and he just tagged and just oh, I'm sorry, my bad, Dad. Slithered the other way. I have never bled so much in my life, from a snake bite. I was like, their teeth are just so long. It didn't hurt horribly bad, but it just bled and bled. Yep. And it's like their teeth are so long, they go deeper, and it's still a little bitty baby ass tooth, but it's like, come on, guy.
Well, dude. My record when I was trying to tame Xena down, because when I got him, he was a year old. All right. And the guy I got him from, he just doesn't really mess with them much. He just kind of lets them alone. So that way, they just kind of do their thing and go about life in their own little happy snake world. Well, that's fine and dandy. But if it goes to somebody that wants to be able to interact and hold and, work with them like me, that makes it a little bit more challenging because that animal's had, a whole year of just basically its extent of human contact was getting coaxed out with a hook and putting back in with a hook. So needless to say, I spent 2 years taming this one down. My record of hits in one handling, because I refuse to put them back on bad terms. When we are done with the night and you're going back in your enclosure, you're going to be a happy little mofo. And we're end things on good terms. Always my policy.
You're gonna work through it. Basics of training.
I had 10 hits. My hand looked like it was needlessly, my hand was freaking red, basically, from, like you said, those little teeth causing all that blood. It just, my wife looked at me, she goes, what the hell? I'm like, just wait. I washed my hand off. I was like, look, see, it's not that bad. She goes, okay.
You barely even tell where they bit you once it finally freaking quits bleeding.
But like you said, it just bleeds like crazy. I think that's the worst part about it. So I started wearing gloves just to freaking coax him down and get him used to being worked with. And now I don't need gloves for it. But Yeah,
I keep them moving, keep them checking things out to where they don't get a chance to post up. Like my hypo Brazilian boy is bad about that. Like he'll be crawling, and you feel it. You know, he just goes rigid, and you see him just stop because like I quit working him. It's my fault. I let him stop moving, and as soon as he stops moving, he's like, the next thing that moves is getting bit, and you're like, don't move. You breathe. Sorry, you're. And so it's like, you know, like you just gotta keep them moving, keep them active, keep them thinking about things. And, you know, I have good success with that, you know, and just like, don't let them stop. Anytime they stop moving, I'm touching. Nah, keep moving. Yep. You know, like I've done really great. I got a white lip and I expected that to be bad. She's bit me several times. Oh yeah. She's pissed all over the room like 6 times in a row. Like, I don't know where they keep it. That northern white lip python can pee more than any snake alive. Just like, and freaking one time just peed on me. I'm like, okay, all right, she got it out of her system at least. Come here. And you're running them like this as fast as you can move your hand. Just fast.
I was saying,
you're talking about the fastest python in the world, man. And they're moving. And especially when they're little. And she's like this big. And she's just like, and just pee, just squirting everywhere. And if you get her to stop, and I'm telling you, a little northern white lip python this big hurts more than my freaking 4,000 gram biggest snake, you know, biggest ball python I've ever been bit by. It's just their teeth are really long and extra curved back. And so like they get you, it hurts because they're active hunters. They're one of the only pythons that actively pursue and hunt their food. You know, they're not ambushed. So they move around like crazy. They're wiry.
Yeah. Now, are you planning on breeding the white lips, or do you just have one just for a badass?
Oh, you know, it's a female. She's growing up. We'll see what happens.
Well,
and I'm sitting there checking Morph Market every day for the right pair to come up. Like, if I find breeders, like I'm getting those instead. But if I get a breeder from someone, I'll only take it if they're handleable, you know, from someone who's worked with them and stuff. I won't take wild ones and, you know, that are savage and try to freaking.
No, is she what? I guess there's 2 different phases. There's the black, and then there's the gold or something.
It's northern and southern. Okay. The northerns are ball python length. You know, like a big female might get 5.5, 6 feet long, but going to be, you know, smaller around, and they're going to be more brown. They're still iridescent. They're both iridescent, but they've got the black. They both have the black head. But the northerns have more of the brown body, and the blacks or the southerns have either the black or the grayish body. And see, that's what I want. Yes, there's some people who are breeding for specific color now, you know, trying to get the gray more and get the black and try to separate them out as genetics. But they get your female's more like 8 foot.
Oh, okay. So the southern ones get a lot bigger then. Okay.
Yeah, considerably, like probably probably a good 20% bigger from all the research I've done. People say the southerns are more docile and more tame, but all of those people usually have northerns, and the people who own southerns laugh at the people who say that. So,
oh man, that's great. Let's run another sponsor out here real quick, and then we'll get back to it.
Can't find that missing piece to your breeding project? Hit up Triforce Morphs. They've been in the industry for 10 years and counting. They're working heavily with clown pieds, hypo clowns, hypopides, along with lace, citron, and the Matter project. Can't let out the fact that they have crested geckos as well. Trust, respect, and integrity. That's the Triforce way. Are you ready to take it to the next level? Then check out DTMG Pythons. Danny is best known for his awesome clown ball python projects. This year's focus is Confusion, Hurricane, and Disco Inferno clowns. He also specializes in high-end crested gecko morphs such as Exantic, Lily White, and Exantic Lily Whites, along with the Deadpool line of gargoyle geckos. Check out his Morph Market and Instagram, DTMG Pythons. Just buy it.
And little teaser, everybody, you guys will be getting some pickup videos coming out once some of these clutch pullings and stuff kind of come to an end. But there is some very nice pickups from Triforce to be shown off, even 2 new pickups from Landon Royals. So stay tuned for those videos. Like I said, got some clutch pullings to show off, so I got to figure out how to feather these pickups in, so that way I'm not breeding them by the time you're just getting the video. Because I have been told apparently I hold out too long on showing some of this shit off. But anyway, so
it's my wife. Like, she sees my posts, she follows my shit, and like I bought some nice ass steaks from Amos, and he's like, bro, I don't get no shout outs or nothing. I see no love. And I'm like, I love you, bro. I love you. I shout out to the moon and back. But my wife doesn't know I bought this, and she knows you're fucking Amos, and she knows what kind of snakes I buy from you. I post a new snake from Amos, and it's like she kind of stays out of my business, but
she's gonna come poking.
Yeah, that's where I get my $5,000 snakes from. It's Amos, It's all, she's like, "What? You bought something from Amos?" I can't even lie to her about what I spent on it, because now we're in we're past investment years. We're into the years where 33% of this comes out. My wife expects her cut of that 33%. I pull 33% for myself now. I actually take a little money this year, and my wife's like, "Oh yeah," and some of that's mine too. I haven't gotten none in a while. What'd you just? You just spent how many $1,000? Yeah, we want to go on a vacation. You're paying. I'm like, shit.
So instead of Uncle Sam, it's Aunt Sam now.
And her name's Samantha. So yes, Aunt Sam. Sam wants her. Sam's all like. And she like, and I'll know because she won't have said nothing about my business for months. Like nothing. Just like, do what you do, baby. Oh, I got new snakes. Oh, cool. And then all of a sudden she's just like, she's got this look on her face. And I'm like, she's about to shake me down for money. She is like, she's all like fake mad about stuff, like fake mad about what snakes I bought and stuff. It's like, babe, quit being fake mad. How much money do I got to give you to be like, like, what do you need? What are you trying to buy? You want couple $1,000 for vac? Yeah, you want to pay off the cruise? All right, here, pay off the cruise.
See, I think my wife's waiting for that moment too. I think she is, because I keep telling her, saying, eventually we'll be able to take some money out from doing some of this. It's like, but right now there's like, we're still building. We're building the projects up. I got to do the snake room expansion this year. That's the big thing. Like the expanding this, because I was an idiot. I just should have listened to my one buddy that told me, dude, just do half of your base, because you doing a quarter of it, like you're going to outgrow it quick. I should have listened, but I didn't. I was, oh, no, 12 by 14, that's enough room. Shit. And then I got these suckers. These suckers here.
Yes. It's like you start freaking rethinking racks and start thinking about enclosures. Shit's get full fast. So like I had my first, I started off in the closet. I was a closet breeder. I had a 5-stack rack on this side and a 5-stack rack on this side, and a little heating panel, like a little space foot heating panel that heated the whole closet because there was no HVAC in there. It was just a perfect breeding environment. And then I took over the guest bedroom, like not just the closet. And then I moved into a 12 by 24. And I did get all that one and finished out and everything with snake money. So I was proud of that. And I was like, man, how am I ever going to fill up this space? Oh my goodness. 6 months later, full. I'm like, where do I put shit? And now, like, this is the one thing that, like, I did pay for this new building, and it's about 35. But it's a 16 by 32. I've got a couple rooms in here. I've got water hoses in the ceiling, multiple AC units, nice. Home insulation, like I went pretty crazy on it. Because I was like, yeah, I'll never need anything bigger than this. Never. 16 by 32. What am I going to do with myself? I'm running all my racks 5 tall. It's going to look really clean. I saw somebody else's snake room that was like that. I'm like, mine's going to be beautiful. No, I got freaking racks on top of them. I got freaking enclosures on top of the racks. I got wall of enclosures. I got another wall of enclosures over there. I got another wall of enclosures. As soon as it's like all this shit, all of my snakes that aren't ball pythons are pretty much in enclosures, except for my file snakes. And that's because they're terrestrial. They dig around. My rosies, they pretty much dig around and stuff too. Most of my rainbows are in one too, because I put them all in enclosures in the beginning, and even at night they would just crawl around a little bit. They never crawled up on anything. They just stayed buried in the bedding for like 2 months. And that's all they would do, is just crawl around like in the bedding and hiding. And I was all like, I put them in racks and they started feeding better, started handling better. That's probably what they were raised in. So I put them back in there and they just performed way better. But all my boas, all my carpets, my colubrids. All my colubrids are enclosures. I've got white-sided black rats that'll breed that bred. Hopefully they go. It's my first time. I just kind of dabbled. I probably screwed that one up. We're hoping they go. I never even finished with like all the stuff I've picked up, man. Freaking all breeders, all pairs or trios. Chihuahua Mountain Kings.
Chihuahua. Dude, I never even heard of freaking Chihuahua Mountain Kings.
So have you heard of Arizona Mountain Kings?
I have, yes. They're like
okay, so
gray. They're like gray with like red or something in them, maybe.
No, so like your Chihuahua and your Arizonas are like your milk snake equivalent of a king snake. Like you get the milk snake colors and shit, but they don't pee on you near as much, and they're not as much of assholes as milk snakes. That's why I like them. But yeah, I got the Chihuahuas. A lot of small bands, red and black and white, and just like 80 rows of them. But they get like that big, full grown.
Oh wow,
something, something big and small enough for anyone else. A king snake that is a better beginner pet, as long as you get them eating good for people. You have a hard time getting them off of lizards onto pinkies sometimes, but if you get them on pinkies and they're reliable feeders, man, they're awesome first pets because they don't just randomly eat you like king snakes normally do. They're not big about musking all over you all the time. Like I've got some Mexican blacks. Oh yeah, she loves to pee on me. Never once has bit me. Loves to pee all over me all the time.
See, that's one thing that draws me back from going and getting. Like I've always wanted a cow king. I told myself if I get a king snake, it's going to be a cow king. But then I hear everybody say, "Yeah, mine just randomly tries to eat me or pees all over the place." It's like, yeah. I don't really know if I feel like having to deal with that shit. Like, I really just don't think I want to deal with that.
When I had Floridas, they were like that. My Floridas would always come out, and it's not striking. There was never a strike. It was just,
yep.
just I'm gonna eat you. Like as soon as you got them out, like all the freaking time. But like my boy Carlito, that's my boy. He's the first king snake I got. He is a striped California king. I hadn't got to him yet. I just picked him up a girlfriend. She's fresh out of brumation. And she's a really nice jet black stripe. Like he's a lot more brown, but he's my boy. I'll have him. He's a pet. Very few of them are pets, but he is one. So I'll be shooting for some of those this season, hopefully on the stripes, but I like him. Like Carlito, man. I was like, he must've been smoking the weed in California or something because he's a lot more chill than the Florida guy. Like he does sometimes, like I think it's right now because it's breeding season. It's usually around this time of year. Like he's just ravenously hungry, but it's a cycle. Like, you see it in all these other snakes, he might be a male, but he's always trying to get out right now for like 2 to 3 months. He'll be trying all over his cage, peeing all the time, like marking his territory, basically freaking. But aside from that, no, he never, he's tried to take a bite out of me once or twice ever in like 3 years or so.
Okay, so that's not bad. Danny, I know, man, I do need to. Green Tree is on the list. Danny, I was I was trying not to instigate Danny too bad about getting another two green trees. And then I somehow inadvertently got myself into basically almost buying a green tree. So I didn't buy it, though. I didn't buy it because I told myself that if I do get another green, or if I ever get a green tree again, because it's been years since I've had one, it has to be a Sorong, and I will not get anything other than that. So I'm being freaking picky as hell on it.
Man, like at the end of the day, display snakes just aren't my thing. If I can't hold it regularly and play with it, like I want to because they're so pretty. And I live like right down the road from Bill Stegall, and he's got some of the freaking nicest, green trees in America and stuff. And I see all of his sickness, his melanistic stuff and everything. And I'm like, although really I like the blue stuff. I don't really care for the melanistic stuff.
Dude, the blue stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. The blue shit. Yeah.
Yes. I want a nice big blue stripe that's crazy looking with the blue tones, not the yellow tones. If I got one, that's what I would want.
See, that's why I want the Sorongs, because they get that green. I think they have like that perfect shade of green, and then they've got that electric blue dorsal to them. That's That's my big thing with wanting the Sorong is that every example I've seen of them, they're the most green and blue. They don't get as much of the other stuff going on.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, some of these guys, they say they're like, oh no, you can totally handle them as long as, you handle them when they're little. You don't, you got to be gentle with their tail and stuff. And, be real cautious not to break their tail. But I've seen Bill get a lot of his snakes out and just post pictures. He's all like, oh yeah, they're not handleable. It's just like, you got to know what you're doing. But then there's people who are like, they're full of shit. They're just posting good pictures. He probably got bit 7 times getting him out. And I'm like, I've seen those teeth. I don't need that heat.
Dude, I had a Biak, and she was a puppy dog during the day. Puppy dog, you pull the perch out, you coax her off the perch. She was fine. Never got bit by her at all. Nighttime, however, you just stay the hell away from the cage. You kind of draw an imaginary, circle around it. Don't get within 5 to 7 feet, and you're good. You get within that bubble, she's striking at the glass because she wants to light your ass up. But daytime, it was okay. Nighttime, the switch gets flipped and the witch came out.
Oh man, my new devil. I've got probably my most. Okay, not my most recent. I got her like 3 weeks ago. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. So I got a big breeder Sumatran. And
is it a
blackhead?
Okay, all right. Blackhead's okay. Blackhead. See, I want a chrome head. But yeah.
What, dude? He had Travis Whistler Reptiles. He's got a chrome head right now, unless he sold it this week. Because he had a chrome head and he had a black head. And the chrome head was a little bigger, but I'm going like dark, and so I wanted the black head. And honestly, the chrome head was like he was able to touch it without it like killing him. Where the blackhead is like, no, like she freaking like literally almost broke the tub she was in trying to get you. Anytime you'd walk past, she smacked the glass. She smacked the glass for enclosure so hard, so many times. I'm surprised she hasn't broke the glass or her face. Like, it was 100% like, wrangling a wild snake. Like whenever you had to get her, it's like wrangling a really big Texas rattlesnake. Because they got that thick body, but like even worse, you wouldn't expect a snake this freaking big around to move like that. But they can shoot. If you touch the tip of their tail, they can bite you.
Yep. As I say, they've got an outrageous strike range, like strike radius to them. Like they're just
they throw the whole body. They slide. They freaking they're like do like a little freaking Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero move across the screen and shit.
Yes,
I know. And so, like, hook doesn't matter, nothing matters. You can't just let her know you're coming. Yeah, let her know you're coming. That way, you're really gonna get fucking bit. So you got to do this number, where you just throw the pillow, you throw the snake bag over the head, and you're like, hope I don't miss. You just got to go in and just grab her and hope you get the head. And boy, I tell you what, she freaking goes to musking everywhere. I was so mad. This is my first. Like I've got a golden eye growing up, but she's a puppy. She's always been a puppy. And she's just a sweetheart. This girl's the devil, and so she like wraps around my arm, puts her cloaca right in my face. Trumpets her hemipenes that look exactly like, her scent glands. That if you didn't know, blood pythons or short-tailed pythons scent glands on a female look just like hemipenes on a ball python. They unroll like that freaking far. But if there's brown stuff shooting out of it, that's musk. It's not what you think it is. It doesn't taste good. It wouldn't taste good if it was the other thing either. But, oh yeah, right in my face, all over the face, mouth open, like in the heat of battle. And she's just like... And I got it on my shirt and my beard. I hadn't shaved yet, so it was longer. And oh my God, it was the nastiest thing I've ever tasted in my life. I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm seething, teeming.
Literally.
He's like, this is a proven breeder female. And I just seen these penises come out. And I was like, that's penises. I got a picture of these things. Like I got them out. Like I got an action shot of her like flying through the air, accidentally snapping it, trying to get a picture of the penises. And so like I'm messaging this guy. And my picture doesn't go through. And so I think it did. And he's like, bro, what are you talking about? That's a female. It's proven. And I was like, no, I know what penises look like. You know, like I'm like, look right here, look at the picture. And he's all like, I haven't seen any picture, dude. This thing doesn't have penises. You know, it's a breeder female. I only have 2 of these things. You know, you got one of the 2. I know what I'm doing. You know, I'm looking. He's got
out of the 2 yet.
Yeah, he's got like 600 positive reviews on Morph Market, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? How did I get fucked? And this guy's like just talking to me like I'm stupid. And but he never saw the picture. And so like I keep mentioning the picture, you know, he's all like, just bring it back, you know, like trying to offer me a different snake. You know, I mean, he was being cool about it, you know, but like he was clearly irritated, and he was all like, you sound like a dumbass, basically, because now I know I did. I mean, I was being polite, but you know, I'm like, no, this is penises, dude. I've seen penises before. I mean, come on, look at him. If you saw the picture, you know. And he never says a word to me. And then finally he's all like, man, I never saw any picture. And I was like, let me send it again. I sent him the picture, and he's like, oh yeah, those are scent glands. That brown stuff coming out the tip of that right there, that's freaking musk. And I'm like, if we had seen this picture in the beginning, we could have stopped all this conversation, you know. So then I'm like fact checking him, like messaging everyone I know who's got bloods, who's got more than like 2 of them. And they're all like, yeah, you didn't know that, dumbass? And I'm like, eating crow, like I just got freaking like I've been defiled by this snake. Now I got to go back and apologize to this guy and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm an idiot. And he's all like, yeah, I didn't know you didn't know, man. He's like, I just expected you to know what a snake penis looks like. And I was like, it looks like a snake penis. Well, Google search what the hemipenes on a freaking short-tail python look like. You will find 75 pictures of a ball python. And not one picture of hemipenes on a blood, Sumatran, whatever the other one is. Or if you just look for, you know, short tails. Yeah, Borneo. Yeah, you don't find none of that if you Google it.
Dude, that's... Get
a mentor, people, before you get a new species. Even if you've been doing this for some years, you can still look like a dumbass. Trust me.
I said, dude, I had a red blood. She was about 6 foot, 26 pounds, roughly. Big girl, but she was a puppy dog. I was lucky with her. The Sumatran I had, puppy dog. I never had any problems with like all the asshole breeds of snakes, you know, that had these bad raps. I never had any bad experiences with them. Now, like, I want to add green trees again. I want to add, when you said about the Sumatrans, I'm just like, it's like, God, please don't let it be a chrome head, because I'm going to be so freaking jealous. Because I want to add a female chrome head this year, hopefully. We'll see. I'm real picky on that one.
If you want a baby chrome head, message me after the show. My buddy's got some really nice ones that he handles regularly. They're super puppy dog tame.
Okay. I say, because I've been torn. Like, I know I was originally planning on getting one from Elijah at Juggernaut because he's a local guy, but I don't know how many or if he even has any available or any of that shit. So it's kind of one of those deals. No, I don't.
I think he's got some of his listed on Morph Market, but he's like, dude, top quality stuff.
Okay.
And he's one of those guys with like the smaller collection. Like his freaking Sumatran gets out and crawls around the room like 3 times a week. Like she's one of his favorite snakes. From what I've seen, the people who are talking about assholes, it's always tub babies. It's, you know, it was a breeder. It's not someone who held their snake as a pet, you know, or you get them as a baby and they'll be handleable and stuff. And you throw it in a tub and you never handle it. You never do anything with it because it's just like this big old snake. It's a squishy, like limp noodle. It's awkward. You know, they're awkward to hold.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, you can break their ribs by not holding them right. So, you know, like people don't handle them a whole lot. And next thing you know, 5 years later, they're assholes.
And they're not the snake you want to have turn into an asshole. Because like you said, they launched their whole body. I remember feeding my girl.
I'd rather
I was feeding her a large rat. I was holding on to the leg, you know, by the foot with feeding tongs. When she hit, I was left with the hind quarter, like thigh, leg, everything. She hit it that freaking hard. She ripped the rat right off the tongs. Like I was just left with the little rat leg. And it's just
I mean, these big snakes, they'll hit them so hard that the impact kills them. They just die from getting struck so hard. Snap their neck.
Well, see, and this was frozen thawed though too, dude. Like this was just frozen thawed. Like I don't like feeding live just because I don't want my shit getting bit because that's like my worst fear. But yeah, like she hit that religiously. I stopped holding them by the legs after like 10 rats, having just being left with a little drumstick. I just started holding on to him by the tail. Figured, well, worst case scenario, I've got a tail I got to throw out. That's a little bit better than a leg.
I can't tell how many times I'm like, but you get a tegu. Tegus love the tail. Just feed them with a little rat tail.
Well, see, now though, with breeding, if you're left with a tail, you could just go cut it up, and if you got to assist feed any hatchlings, there you go, multi-purpose rat.
No. Hopper mouse. Shove it in
there. The rat tail's a good idea, man. Chris says, like the bite pressure from indigos. See, I don't know anything about bite pressure from indigos.
Oh, they'll bruise you. They're freaking.
Really?
Oh yeah. They can freaking chomp up. They can chomp through a Coke can.
What?
Dude, their bite is like they can freaking like on a lot of their prey and stuff. You'll hear them just like, like they move that jaw and stuff, and like you can hear bones breaking on like the prey on smaller prey items.
What the hell? That's wicked, dude. That's freaking wicked. I did not.
Well, if you think about it, they're not necessarily really constrictors. A lot of times they'll thrash their prey around and just bite them to death.
Okay, I get
Although
okay.
I've seen them wrap stuff up. My buddy's got quite a few of them, and half the time, all these non-constrictors will constrict stuff. But a lot of times, no, they'll snatch it good. If they get it on the head, they'll just start biting on the neck and they'll just kill it. They'll snap its neck.
Oh shit! See, I had no idea, man. I guess they don't have that big. I think if I would think of something that's gonna really hurt when it bites, it would be something that's got like a head structure of like what a carpet has, like that big bulky head. I don't picture an indigo having that.
Your head's like this freaking long. It's like you stuck 2 carpet python heads and glued them together.
They do have a long.
I feel like she can get my whole arm in there. It's like I know she would eat a big chicken. Oh, she got out at the show. So he brought all these snakes in these tubs. He had a bunch of them to sell, and the chrome head was in the same kind of tub. And so, like, he trusted the tub, so I trusted the tub. I just took the tub, put it underneath my table, away from my snake, so I could go. I'm like, oh, don't touch it. Like, I test everything. I'm a germaphobe. I come in the morning, and that lid's just laying there, and I'm like, hey, snake got out, and I'm talking to Sean, who owns Herps, and he's all like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, no, dude, no. The snake got out, Sumatran. He's all like, oh, okay. And I was like, an adult. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, she's fucking mean as hell. He's like, let's get some people to look. It's like, you do not want that in an expo. We finally found her. She was wedged like in between a steel beam in the corner.
And she got stuck.
Dude, it took the boa. It took the guy who works with all the Surinoms and shit. He's got all the freaking mean, pissy ass boas, and like nobody could get her out with a hook or anything. She was just slipping it, not coming. He's like, "You are doing this wrong." He's all like, "You said she's a bitch, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Watch this." So he's like, "Give me the snake hook." Just pokes her. Just starts doing that. Took like 10 seconds. There she comes right out after his ass, and he's all like, poking her. She comes out, grab her from the top. He's like, "There." He's like, "The mean ones, you just got to piss them off. They'll attack you." And she did. She will chase you. She will come after you. You don't want this heat.
Oh, man,
I'm going to tame her. You will see a picture of me just holding this big sweet puppy dog. It might be 2 months. It might be 5 months, but you'll see it.
And you guys also might see Zach in the hospital, all bandaged up.
Oh, you should have seen me swabbing her for Nido. Like, that was just me giving her a little checkup whenever she went all nuts that time. And I had to swab her for Nido. Oh, that was real fun.
Oh, I bet that, yeah. I would not want to have to do that. No.
Yeah.
Nope. not on something, not on something that wants to kill you. So what do you got cooking up with ball python? Yeah. What do you got cooking up in the ball python aspect, dude?
Oh man, dude, I got some heat coming, man. I got honestly, this year is a year of a lot of holdbacks. I've got my disco hypo. One of your commercials, you said somebody's working on their Disco Inferno clowns, and they'll like some of my projects. I'm working on Disco Inferno, like hypo clowns and stuff. So I've got a Disco Hypo Clown Het Pied that's going to a litany of pieds and some ultra males and stuff for triples and quads, or they'll be testable for quads. My Stranger, he's still got a decent little lineup, more for like double het stuff because he's pied. So I'm running into a couple clowns. Running into some candy het pieds and stuff, shooting for some Stranger pieds, het candy. They like that might be nice. Multiple pairings for Stranger pied and Stranger pied het VPIs and albino, and Stranger double het exanthic albino or exanthic pied. So some nice stuff with that. I got Inchy Clown Pied doing a lot of rotations. I'll be shooting out of a few different clutches that can produce me some actual clown pieds, but I really care less because, I mean, it's Inchy Clown Pied. If I make something, it's going to be an Inchy Clown Pied. And I've already got that. So I'm doing more. I've got a couple pairings for that just because, there's still a good demand for them. And I wouldn't mind having another female or two double visual to hold back. So I do have a lot of stuff going for that. Some random pretty stuff, like stuff with my nanny. I'll get real excited about my nanny. That's like part of my 10%. Like I don't care about the money necessarily that I make. It's just I want to make it. Like I hit the world's first nanny pied last year.
Okay. And so what about nanny excites you?
Well, I like what it does in its codom combinations. And I've always liked it since the beginning. It's extremely reactive with lots of genetics. People think Bell complex, but it's not just that, black pastel, yellow belly. I mean, pretty much anything besides pastel, it's so reactive in. And it was crazy. Like people hit the clown and they're like, I was like, that's not what I expected. It's not what anybody expected it to look like. It's like uniform, brings the pattern back to it. And, people started getting out of the project in droves, and I was just snatching up all their snakes. They're like, the clown's not good. And I was like, okay, I'll pay you for that minus the het clown price. And so people were doing it. They were just happy to get out of it, because they thought it wasn't going to be good. And the people who stuck in it, they're hitting like Kenny Aponte. He works with it a lot. He's been hitting some crazy 2-3 gene clown combos, like black pastel, red stripe nanny, I think, clown, just some crazy stuff. And I was like, I want to work it in pied because you got stuff that, pretty much anything that's exceptional in clown is shit in pied. Like spot nose. What are you going to do? Make a white snake? Your Bell complexes. Arguable about what they do in clown. They do brown out, but y'all know they do impressive stuff until it gets brown. You got all that stuff like that, and squirrel. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So it all looks bad in pied. Well, nanny doesn't look good in clown, right? So my theory is you got stuff that looks good and stuff that looks good in clown doesn't look good in pied. Let's try the stuff that doesn't look good in clown and pied, and let's see if it does good. And literally, I had people telling me I was an idiot. Like you're stupid. Don't buy this snake from me. I'll sell it to you, but I'm telling you, you don't want this. This is a dead project. Don't get it. Pied's not going to look good. You're not even going to know it's there. And I was all like, that's your thought. We're going to see. We're going to find out.
Okay, well, just take my money and give me my damn snake.
Yeah. So I made my hats and everything. I produced it out. There was literally 2 people that I could find who were even contemplating trying for it. And one guy had one egg the year before I produced mine, and he wasn't sure if he hit the nanny because it was literally just a head. It was just everything else was solid white. And so we were like, hope that's not it. And then I hit mine, and dude, I almost threw it away. I literally I was swinging to dump it into the trash. This thing had been sitting in there 66 days. It was 67 days. And what it was is the female laid a 5-egg clutch. 3 of them were slugs. So I had 2 eggs. One of those eggs turned, with veins and everything, still turned inside of a week and rotted. And the other one was a partial boob egg, not very big. I had low hope for this thing. And then I'm sitting there day 60 they, all my stuff hatches on day 55, 56. 57 is like an outlier. And so like day 60 rolls around, I'm like, fucking, it stinks in there, but I got that rotten egg, like I leave it in there. And so like, I'm just like, man, nothing coming out of this. And I check a couple days later, and then I hadn't checked it in like 3 days. And because it was just funk and it was all sunk in and stuff. And I was like, man, it's a rotten clutch. And so I went in there, I pulled some listings down. I freaking dropped the floor out of my nanny hep hide stuff that I had made that I was still holding on to. Like, I mean, I dropped them down to like a couple $100, and I'd sold them all for $1,200 plus. And I was just like, I'm done with this now. I'm selling it all. Went into the room, pulled the lid off, went to chuck it in the trash can, with a nice little smack to get all that crap off of it, and I'm just like, pump the brakes. There's a snake in there. And there was this little 41-gram little baby snake that just looks so fucking impressive. And, and like the mother's multiple times proven. The female I made the het from is like an F2 female, I believe. F3 female. Multiple 7 freaking litters or clutches proven that she's just a nanny. To a pastel yellow belly pied who had like 6 or 7 clutches, didn't come out in anything funky. So, I mean, like everything was straight, I did all the backlog to check everything. And so like, oh yeah, I literally danced. I was dancing around with the snake, like singing to it and everything, like you would have judged me if you saw me kind of thing. Like I've made world's first combos probably, like, oh, no one ever put these 8 genes together, these 7 genes together. But this was, a project that I know the people who started the project and everything. And I know nobody's made this in this recessive form before, like it was to me, like my first like real accomplishment, after years of doing this. And like, I was giggly as a schoolgirl. Like I think Troy Schroeder like commented and asked for the pairing yesterday when I posted a picture of it, and he commented on there, and like, he got 7 paragraphs, 22 pictures. And it's like, you shouldn't have said anything. I love it. It's phenomenal. And so I'm shooting to reproduce this season. I'm not throwing a lot at it because, it was a funky 1 egg clutch. I mean, at the end of the day, it could be some weird incubation issues or something. I'm not going to consider it legit until I reproduce it. But I got the male. He's growing up. He still looks fabulous. He's browned a little bit, but he's still got some nice orange tones and everything. It's kind of like a mahogany flavor if you haven't seen it. Except more orange, more bright, and a lot of pattern. Like it looks like a high pattern black pastel pied, except again, more orange, more bright, and something that nobody expected out of Nanny. No one expected Nanny to be a color changed gene. Like we all knew it's kind of a dark gene, but it's a weird dark gene. It's a light dark gene. Like it'll blush out the head every time. Even if you got a black head in there, that black head's going to have an auburn head on the back, just like it's got red gene in it or something. But it is a dark gene. So I was surprised. It's pretty. I'm excited. I rambled.
I'll have to, I'm assuming it's on your Instagram, right?
I think everything I post on Facebook goes on my Instagram. Yes.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I'm curious to actually see it now. I'll have to check it out. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. If you find the pictures, it's brighter than what it looks in the pictures. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Instagram.
Is it how far? Because I can pull it up here real quick, baby. Hold on. Is it
far?
You're
gonna see how much I post. It's from last year.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna see that. I'm gonna say that you do post a freaking lot.
I have no Instagram followers. I got like 500 Instagram followers, 400 or something like that, and it's like I post a lot. I used the little hashtag thingies. I get Facebook followers. I got a couple thousand.
I have yet to figure out Instagram, dude. Like, I don't even think I hit 2,000 followers or subscribers on Instagram, and I'm almost at 3K on YouTube. So it's like, you know what? Instagram kind of takes the backseat. I throw shit on there when I remember to, but YouTube's kind of where I focus. The shorts, the lives, the weekly videos, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I even slack on the shorts because I don't freaking understand what the hell YouTube wants from me. I go and I take a nice video, I put it with, I've tried trending songs, I've tried songs from my youth, which make me feel young, And then when I see that those songs kind of don't do that good, it makes me feel freaking old as hell then, because I realize nobody knows that damn song.
Well, your music is now classic rock. Just know that. I'm in that same boat with you. I was jamming out to like some Smashing Pumpkins or something the other day at a restaurant, just like on the road going to a show out of state somewhere. And I'm just like, oh, this is Smashing Pumpkins. Like, yeah. And I look up on the TV and it says classic rock. And I'm like, fuck you. Ruined my dinner. Just ruined the rest of my dinner. I was all like, classic rock.
My wife told me I told her, like, yeah, I found this one station that plays it's like all stuff from like my youth. It's like late 90s, early 2000s. Like, it's freaking amazing. She goes, yeah, you know what that's called, Jeremy? I was like, what? She goes, it's called the old set. That's called the old station now. You're the classic. You're like, you know what, when your parents used
we're not oldies yet. We haven't made it to oldies. It's still classics.
All right, see, dude, she made me feel like it was oldies. I'm just like, I'm sat there and I thought about it. I was like, son of a bitch, you're right. I now have my own era.
I wasn't going to live to 2000. Like, we partied like it was 1999. I expected to die that night.
Many people thought we were going to die that night. I still remember that. Y2K.
It was the end of the credit system and everything. I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, get rid of my bad credit. Now I'm like, y'all better not. You know how hard I worked on that credit?
Yeah. Thank you, Tara. I appreciate that. But it's just, yeah, man. Like, so sometimes I try to do shorts, but then it's like I just can't. Man, my best short. All right, my best short was my first one, maybe my second one. I forget if it was the first or second. I think it was the first. And all it was a freaking pastel yellow belly. You know how sad that is that a pastel yellow belly goes viral, and I say viral with quotation marks. It had like 1,000 views in a day. Okay, for me that was damn good at the time. 1,000 views in a day, freaking fantastic. Now I put up like these really awesome like recessive combos, like the Exantic stuff or some clown stuff, pie stuff. It gets 400 or 500 views. I'm like, what the hell? And that's throughout its freaking life of being on YouTube. It's like, I don't.
Oh yeah, like I can post a funny meme about, you know, like don't gripe about the price of the snake, and I get 117 likes on it. I post a picture of a freaking my freaking Disco Mojave Exantic clown that I just got that I'm so freaking proud of, and like 2 weeks later, I have 16 responses. I'm like, But I posted a picture of a banana hypo, and it got like 87 likes.
See, that's kind of where that's the boat that I'm in. So I don't freaking get it. It's just like,
bro,
whatever.
I sold that. It was banana Mojave hypo, and I sold it for $500.
Okay, well,
second show I took it to. The guy freaking bought it from another breeder who was like fire selling them, but I knew who he was. You know, he's got clean stuff. He's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. He's that guy who sits on his phone all the day. You know, that's why I'm not saying his name. But, you know, he sits on the phone all day. He's got a bad attitude. You know, I mean, he's a good guy. He just he's not a salesman. He doesn't like doing it. He doesn't like having to be nice to people, and he's not going to fake it. And he's like, whatever, just what's it priced at? And I was like, $150. And he's like, I don't care. Just give me $100. No one's going to buy anything. This show sucks. And I'm like,
okay.
We go quarantine it. You know, I got like another $25 in it for stopping and nido swabbing it, you know, quarantine it for a month, take it to a show. And it sold at the first show. And it was the number one snake that people asked about every single time because it was a beautiful snake. And everyone went and walked around. You know why it was worth $500? Because it's the only one. Because nobody works banana hypos. You're not going to get a banana that's that beautiful unless you get a banana hypo. Nobody knows that about banana hypos, but they are beautiful and they keep their colors. It makes banana great again when it gets older. You know, and it's like, nobody's got it. Nobody works it. To me, that snake was worth $500 and I would not take a penny less. And it took me like 9 people getting it out in 3 hours to be like, I agree with you. And somebody else bought it.
Nice. But see,
it's what you value it out. You know, like what, you know, like if you don't think it's an important snake, if you don't think it's valuable, if you think it's a trash snake, they're going to think it's a trash snake and they're not going to want to put their hard-earned money into it.
And that's the thing I was going to say here. Thank you, Rodent Restaurant. It's always the guys on their phones the whole show who don't engage with the people who say they suck. That's the thing. Like at shows, you can.
I mean, there are sucky shows. It does happen.
I mean, there are bad shows, but if you're sitting there on your phone, not paying attention, playing whatever stupid game you're playing on your phone, you're not going to do well. Like I'm not like when I walk up to a table and if I'm looking at your stuff and you don't even acknowledge that I'm there, I walk. Doesn't matter if you got something on there that I really like or that I'd be interested in getting. I'll walk just because you know what? It's not worth my time. There was an
old head, real reputable breeder. Had a sunset on his table, had a steel, and like I was about to buy it. I was like, oh shit. And I'm sitting there just looking at his snakes, and he's not even looking at me. And I'm like, man, that's really nice, man. And he's all like, looks up from his phone. He's like, looks back down. And I look at this other one, and I was like, oh, I like what the banana does in it. Like, let me give him another shot. And he's all like, yeah, me too. Looks back down. I just walked straight away. I don't have a sunset. I really needed that for a project I wanted. And I was like, I'll wait and buy it from someone else. If I'm not important enough for you to even talk to me, like there's plenty of people selling snakes out there in this market. Find somebody who wants to mess with you. Find somebody who's got time for you.
Exactly. That's I stand all show. Even if I start.
I sit when I eat and that's it. And somebody else is there with me to stand up and cover the table.
Dude, 9 times out of 10, I don't even sit when I eat. I stand up while I eat. All right. Funny little haha about this weekend show. We all got pizza and we got like 2 pies and some mozzarella sticks and some other shit. It took me literally probably about 3 hours to eat 2 freaking slices of pizza because I take a bite and somebody would walk up and like I'd be thinking, all right, you're talking with them, they're interested in owls, so you put the pizza down so that way you can really get engaged with it, and you spend some time with them. They walk away. All right, I can sanitize. I can finally eat again. Take another 2 bites, maybe. Another person comes up, put the pizza down. And Christine from Triforce, she goes, Jeremy, I hope you're going to eat more of this pizza. I looked at her, like, I'm trying to, Christine. These people won't let me eat.
I get that sometimes because you got people who just want to talk to you, like the people who know you or who are looking for you to meet you and stuff like that. That happens a little bit. But I almost always take somebody with me. I try to take my daughter if at all possible because she can sell snakes. I mean, we have competitions and a lot of times flat out, I'll tell you, she beats me. She's a cute little 14-year-old, 15-year-old tomorrow girl. Cool. And she does really well. Like, I mean, there's a lot of times where I'll beat her total dollar amount because, if somebody's going to sell $1,000 snake, it's usually not her, it's me. But she has, and she feels confident with it. And so, that's always a big one is make sure you staff for the show you're at. Like if it's a really dead slow show, I'll go by myself. But most shows, I want 2 people. Yeah. Because I want to be able to go to the bathroom and know that someone's selling snakes at my table. I want to be able to eat, like I'll walk around for usually like the first 30 minutes. Texas is pretty slow in the morning. We don't like to wake up early around here. I don't care what show it is. Do not care. First 30 minutes of the show, you might not know it's open if you're not one of the first vendors in the door. Like
oh shit, that it's the opposite here, man. If it's not cooking in the first 30 minutes, you're kind of like wondering like what the hell.
Oh man, I'm in the Bible Belt, dude. Sunday, you will be sitting there falling asleep in your booth sometimes, especially in the smaller town shows. The city not so much, but still a little bit. You'll be falling asleep on Sunday, and then all of a sudden, like 12 o'clock rolls in, and you get the people who went to the first session of church. You get a little bit of some lookers come in. And then by like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, you are slammed from like 1:30 until like 3. And then you look up and it's like a ghost town again. And so like Sunday, you're busy for like 2 hours and you'll sell nothing all day, nothing after that, but you'll sell like 4 to 8 snakes in a 2-hour window. And I'm telling you, if I don't have a second person sitting there when that rush comes, there are people who walk up to my table and they're like sitting there waiting to talk while I'm closing another deal, and they will flat ass walk off because they're not going to sit there and wait when there's 25 other people with ball pythons in the room. It's like I'm losing money by not having someone there. Find you a mentee, find someone to bring up in the hobby with you, somebody who wants experience if you're doing it. Get a family member who actually knows about them. Just find somebody to go with you. It makes you have more fun. I feel like it helps sales all around.
See, I have Dom, my oldest. He's 17 now. Normally, he does all the camera work for like all the weekly videos and shit. Normally, he's with me at the shows. Every once in a while, he doesn't want to come, and I don't force him. It's whatever. Normally, he is there with me. We all give him a whole bunch of crap because a lot of times he's sleeping while he's there. But old dad's awake, and I'll give him credit. When I want to go walk around or I got to go, go to the bathroom, go get food, whatever, just kick him a little bit. Hey, wake up. You got to take over for a couple minutes. I'll be back. And he does. And normally when I come back, it's funny because he tells me, he goes, yeah, while you were gone, there are all these people that were interested in this and that. And, it makes me think, it's like, okay, now, if I was there, would we have made sales? Or if you were a little bit more knowledgeable about some of the shit, would that have led more to sales? Because
dude, absolutely would. And to each their own and stuff. But like my daughter, this is her job. She's been employed by the business, and I pay her a salary for 3 years now. And now she's my facility manager. She's 15, and I get cut off regularly by Cash App because they say you can't pay a kid under 16 and more than $1,000 a month. And I do not know. People will give me crap all the time. They're like, "Oh, you left your daughter at the table while you were walking around. What the fuck?" And I'm like, she can sell as good as I am. She's an employee. I am paying her, and I'm paying her well. I pay her, like you got big heads who have people coming there who are just there for the experience. And I pay my daughter more than pretty much anyone else there. She makes at least 10% of what I make at the shows, and that's not including her salary for working with the animals. So she knows each animal. She likes the animals. I mean, she's a 14 to 15-year-old girl. There's times where she'd rather not do it, but let her miss money. She wants her money. Because like we pay for like basic nails. My daughter wants bougie $80, $90 nails. She pays for the other half of it because she's got a job. And, and whenever you want to call into work, you don't call into work because you got a job. You got to be there. You're reliable. And, and I hold her to that. And I work on teaching her work ethic and stuff like that. Like, no, you can't just not go to work today because you don't feel like it. Sorry. You want a day off a week or two from now so you can plan to go do something with your friend? Yeah, let's get it on the schedule for you.
See, that's maybe that's what I'm screwing up with on it, is go towards him with it as an employee position, and actually just pay him, and maybe that. But see, then I feel if he's not into it though, it doesn't matter. Like he's not, what I mean? He's just kind of like me, whatever.
Yeah, that happens, and for me. Like I consider it a challenge to work on work ethic for my daughter, because like there's times where she don't want to do it, and I can tell she's in there slacking ass, trying to cut corners, and but at the same time, understand that I'm referred to by most people as a hard ass when it comes to my daughter. Like I expect straight A's. She's in advanced classes, but she can do it. She's capable of doing it, and I just expect her to do her best, and her best is advanced classes all A's. And the same thing when she comes in here to work, like I'll pull it out, I point it out to her and stuff, and she'll get like, and I'm like, hey, look, is this the best that you can do? Is this the quality you want to put forth? I mean, if it was anybody besides me, is this the job that you would do? And she's like, no, and so we work on it. And
see that there though is something good, because I think that's what a lot of kids lack in this day and age is that work ethic, strive for the perfection, give your best 110%. That's something good to try to instill in your kids.
So I can growing up, you would call this the family business. You didn't get paid. Your pay for helping with the family business was you got clothes, you got to eat. That's what the family did to survive and to provide food and put it on the table for you. And as a child, it was your job to help out with the family business, and it was just expected, But that's where like me and my wife balance each other. Like I don't pay her for chores. She does have chores that she does at home, but I do have to pay her for work because I get paid. And so we kind of settled on that. I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm coming into the new world a little bit, but
I'm not gonna lie, you've got my wheels turned a little bit on this. This is something maybe I'm gonna kind of have to bring up.
I pay her $10 an hour, which might not be much for like a 17 or 18-year-old. You can go to a gas station, but she's 14, about to be 15. She can't even go get a work job anywhere, and she's making more than minimum wage. And really, I pay her about $100 a week. It's not, for this. She makes a lot when we go out to shows. But she pays $100 a week. She comes out here 2 hours a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She does it after she does all of her homework. She gets it done about 7 or 8 o'clock. So she's got time to talk to her friends or, do whatever 15-year-old girls like to do, which usually involves lots of laughter and squealing from her bedroom. I don't know what's going on in there. I just know there's lots of laughter and squealing. Not a lot of just walk in anymore, so I don't know. And she quits doing it.
Having fun. That's all that matters. Someone is having fun. I got to run this last sponsor ad real quick, and then we're going to go a little bit longer, and then we'll wrap this up, bro, because it is 10 o'clock already. Man, tell you what, this is flying by tonight, guys. All right, here we go. Last sponsor ad.
Lucas Landon Royals produces some truly high-caliber snakes. Kai has been breeding ball pythons for 6 seasons and counting. He's working toward multi-recessive combos such as DG Clown, Hypo Clown Pied, Sunset Candy Pied, and DG Exantic Pied. He's working with several other species of snakes, but next year he's going to start breeding Boa Imperators, and he also has a small group of super dwarf retics. So be on the lookout for some super dwarf cow retics. Become a royal at Lucas Landon Royals. If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you, you will not regret it.
Click that affiliate link, please, everybody. Free 30-day trial. You don't got to put in, like Zach said earlier, you don't got to put in any credit card info for the 30-day trial. Just click it. Give it a shot.
Okay. I know it's not what we're here for, but somebody in the comments asked, here's the nanny.
Oh, hold on. All right, I like that.
As bright as it is, it's got a lot of good oranges in here, and he's about to go into shed too. But I mean, that looks like a freaking mahogany.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm digging that, dude. I am digging that.
He's got the spot on the head, and I wish the colors came through. He's much more of like an oranges, lots of oranges around here. I figure this is a nanny. My guesstimate is nanny yellow belly pied. The only other genetic in the mix was pastel, which is definitely not there.
I'm not seeing the pastel.
But all the big heads agree that it's nanny, but they've been torn 50-50 on the yellow belly, and I'm like, I think it's yellow belly. But it's not for sale, so I don't care. I'm going to prove it.
Well, I like on how it's got some of that black outlining going on there within the pattern.
Oh, yeah, like this dark contrast there.
Yep, I'm loving that. See, that's the one thing I like.
Like neon orange.
See, that's badass looking, dude.
So I'm hoping, he's getting some size, but he was 41 grams. It's taken a minute. Like there was no chance of me getting him online for this season. But he's gaining nice now. He's getting a little chunky butt. So he'll definitely go next season. And I'll run him to like an orange dream vanilla pie stuff and try to get some color into it and accentuate those oranges better. And I'm trying to find a mahogany pied female close to breeding or breeder size or something along those lines, or a black pastel pied, just to run this to because of how it looks so much like that. I'd like to see what it does when added to that. Okay. Looks like mahogany. Let's do to mahogany.
So that you might be onto something with that, dude. You might be onto something with that. I know. I'm curious.
People immediately say like, "Oh yeah," after seeing that pied, that's the direction to work your nanny. And I was like, I'll sing it from the mountaintops as soon as I reproduce it because, like, I'm always, I'd rather be conservative than,
So you want to make
say it's definite.
Something. A lot of people are the opposite way, though. They'll sing it from the mountaintops before they're convinced or proven it. I like the fact and that mindset of, I want to make this again, so I am certain that that's what is going on here. I like that.
You have to proof it. If you didn't proof it, it doesn't count.
Exactly. See, I know, like on the mahogany train there, I'm curious to try. I want to get mahogany into Exantic. Just curious to see what it does with it. Because I've got a leopard. God, what is he? He's got like 100 freaking things in him. Leopard lace mahogany yellow belly pastel. And like he's just out of this world looking. And I look at him and I'm like, all right, sucking some of that color out, like it just really gets my brain turning. It's like, okay, this thing would be badass with the Xanthic tied into it. So
I don't have much mahogany, man. I've got one mahogany hypo girl, and I bred her to my Batman het hypo.
ooh.
So I'll be hitting, hopefully hit, the leopard spot nose mahogany, double het hypo clown there. A hypo het clown. If I get lucky.
See that? I'm with you on the Batman shit, dude. Like that. Did you see that?
I've got Dark Knight. I've got so much Dark Knight, but all my Dark Knight and Batman stuff, I'm going hypo. It's all hypo Dark Knight, hypo Batman. I'm not going like I have one pairing that'll produce me something, but it would be what is it whenever you get the Batman and you add the chocolate?
Isn't that the Dark Knight?
No, Dark Knight is just spot nose chocolate.
Is it? All right, then what's
so? I don't know if it'd be a leopard Dark Knight or a chocolate Batman. I'm sure someone's going to chime in with the answer here.
Scarecrow's the.
They got so many names, man.
Yeah, like it gets confusing. There's a Scarecrow. It would make sense for the chocolate to be like a Scarecrow. But for some reason, I want to say that the Scarecrow is the banana bat. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that one. I know the main thing that I know is what the Arkham Knight is. I know that one. That's the Xanthic Batman. I know that for a fact.
That'll be nice. I need more Xanthic stuff. That's why I picked up that boy. Like he's my most recent big pickup was that disco. And like I wasn't gonna get him. And Charlie helped me out with this one. Because like Amos was flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not this male was a visual hypo or he had a 66% chance of being a het hypo. I only had, like the 33% chance of it being neither. And he was going to keep it if it was a het. He was going to keep it if it was a visual. And I've been harassing the piss out of him to send that shed in for like 6 months. And he finally sent it in, and I was bugging him every day. Did you get the results back? Is that my snake yet? And freaking like I got tired of bugging him, so I started bugging Charlie because Charlie was the one running the tests. and he's all like, I think he said something about like I can't give you test results. He's like, but you may want to send him a down payment. And I was like, so I messaged him, and I was all like, yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks, Charlie. I'll send you your cut later. But I was bugging Amos. I was like, all right. How much am I sending you for this? He's mine. And he's all like, oh, well, his results didn't come back in. I was like, yes. Did you look lately? He's like, doesn't reply for like 5 minutes. He's like, how the hell did you, God damn it. And I was all like, oh, yeah, mine now. So I picked that up, but I don't have much for females. I've got a Xanthic het hypo breeder female that's ready to go for her first time. And then literally like the other stuff I'm using for Xanthic to make all these hets and stuff I was talking about is I've got a breeder loan with a buddy, and it's an inchy Xanthic that I'm running to my stranger. And then he's got a, what do they call it? A snow. He's got a snow. And so I'm running the stranger pod to the snow for some stranger triple hets there. And it's stranger got a couple up. What'd you say?
I said the stranger will be good with Xanthic. That darkness, dude.
Oh yeah, well Amos made it last year, dude. It looked. He sold it. I think Dallas or Tinley, because I saw it on his table. He sold it to somebody. It looked really nice.
Oh, because I've got, and it's a simple combo. But I mean, a leopard TSK Xanthic het clown girl, but her blacks are so freaking rich, and her grays are even on the darker side. But dude, she's got some really nice white outlining going on. It's just like, oh my god, it's like filet freaking mignon, man. Like absolutely, it literally made me start thinking. It's like, you know what? It's like everybody, like, I want that perfect black and white animal. But after seeing her, it's like, son of a bitch. It's like it kind of half made me change gears a little bit, and I started looking more. It's like, all right, we're gonna start trying to make this shit dark. Like we're gonna start taking some of this stuff the dark direction now too. So I'm excited about that. That's
picked up more traction.
See,
I liked it. I liked it, but it didn't have the traction. Like, and honestly, like I wanted to be an Xanthic sooner, but
Yeah.
I like TSK. I live in Texas. If you don't understand that, then like I can break it down for you real quick. You don't sell TSK in Texas unless you're JD Constrictor at freaking, NARBC. Like, it's like, no, Tracy Barker lives in Texas. This is VPI territory. You will be laughed at and shunned. Like, you have TSK on your table. Like, I literally have seen people try to give it away here because, like, you cannot fucking sell it.
Really?
But I think it's more pretty. And so I was waiting.
I like it better too. I think the blacks are nicer. I think as adults they look nicer.
Yeah, I mean, I like it personally, and although I have seen some really, you got to have the best line, the best example of EPI for me to like it, and there's a lot that's just bad.
Yeah.
But so like, I didn't want to go to the VPI.
Bad of all of them, I will
I'm
say
buying
that.
what I don't like, but TSK, I'm like, I can't sell it. So like, I just hesitated, and then I ended up picking up some triple hets. Limey Smidger made them. Limey. And they are triple het, paint, TSK, orange ghost. They were the world's first triple hets for those. The male's a pastel, the female's a lesser. And that little heathen didn't go for me last year. She looked like she was going to absorb this year, but now that I freaking went and bought a VPI, she's starting to freaking her follicles. I swear to God, they got smaller and then they got bigger. And she's like, oh, you bought a VPI? Because I was like, fuck it. I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, I'll get my babies out of them eventually, but I'll just get them and sell them. Because I was all like, if I hit this and I hit like a paint TSK or something, that's a world's first. Limey hasn't even hit those yet. If I hit that, I'm going to go all TSK because it'll be high end where the people outside of Texas will buy it from me, Yep. And so like, I couldn't get that. And that's why I was like, screw it. I'll just go VPI. So I've bought 3 different VPI females in the past 2 weeks. But my wife doesn't see this. I bought that Disco Mojave Xanthic Clown from Amos for a big boy. And so I'm like, guess I'm making a lot of Xanthics. I hope he comes online. He's like 600 grams, but he hasn't plugged for me yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get him in this season.
So what are you doing with that triple het girl that's het TSK? What are you doing with her?
She's breeding the pastel triple het male.
Well, if for whatever reason you decide to have a moment of letting things go, you let me know.
I tried to get from Limey another one, and he wouldn't even sell me one. He made some, but he kept them all this time, and he wouldn't even sell me another triple het. And I had to kind of beg to get a double het. And yeah, because I don't know. I think he shot himself a little bit because he thought he would hit it sooner because he had more stuff for it, and he's just missed. It happens. And now he's got me plus this other guy who actually he only sold it to 2 people, and the other guy's got some too. And so it's all like, I wouldn't be wanting to sell him too many of them. Hey, let me hit an orange ghost TSK paint, and I will probably sell every one of these VPIs.
Dude, in all honesty, personally, I would get rid of the VPIs, and because you're not just doing shows in Texas anyway. You're going all over the freaking place, man. So the hell with it. So one show you don't get to sell your, one show you don't get to sell your Xanthic shit. Oh well, you got other stuff you can take. Just don't use those.
It's not one show, dude. You don't understand. You do not bring that TSK down here to Texas. If I'm telling you, if your name is not, if you were not JD Constrictor, you are selling. I'm sitting next to my buddy, dude. He had a freaking 800 gram, 900 gram. I was so tempted not to buy it. 900 gram, beautiful, nice, dark TSK pastel female and a fire female. Both of them, they'd be breeding by the end of the season. And he ended up marking them down as low as $400 before they finally sold. And I watched him try to sell those for a year.
What?
And then somebody gave him $500 for both of them. And he was like, just fucking take them. He just could not sell it. They're like, oh, look. That's VPI. I figured he got them down cheap enough where they buy for a pet. But I'm telling you, not a lot of pet people buy bigger snakes. They buy babies. It's just like puppies. You know, they want puppies. They don't want them after they're out of that puppy phase.
I had somebody this weekend that it was a dad and their kid and his two daughters, and they really loved my Exantic and pastel Exantic het clown male, which he was like the showrunner for my table. Now, granted, I only had like 5 things in the display case, actually 7, including the snakes that I got and then stuck in my display case, and then just put it out pretty high number on them, figuring if somebody really wants them, you know, they could be for sale. Everything's got a price, but you're going to pay that freaking price. But anyway, they asked me if I had anything smaller. I mean, and he's not like he was like maybe I think he's like around 600, 650, you know, gram wise. And I'm there thinking it's like he's not that big. Like he's still kind of on the smaller end here. Like he's not like huge yet. They're like, oh yeah, well, we were just kind of looking for something a little bit smaller. I'm there thinking it's like, well, I'm not gonna have any small Exantic stuff till like later on in the year. It's like, but right, like that's it. It's you're lucky he's even up for grabs because of the male that I bought. Now the male that I bought doesn't want to freaking lock anything, and it's kind of driving me nuts. Doesn't want to lock, doesn't want to eat. Man's pissing me off. I don't know what to do about him. I got Da Vinci Boa on order because it's like, son of a bitch, we're going to get you cooking here soon somehow. Like, something's got to happen. But, man.
Dose him with a little metronidazole.
A little what? Who's a what? Huh?
Metronidazole.
What the hell is that?
Did he quit eating after you got him?
Yeah. Well, I got it. Yeah, because he came from Ball Brilliance. Beautiful freaking animal, too. Leopard, vanilla, Exantic, het clown. Apparently ate like a champ there, came here, and flatlined on food. Doesn't even act like he's interested.
It's not uncommon. So, you know, we got flora and fauna in our gut and stuff. And it's not uncommon for the stress of shipping or moving a snake to cause a snake that's a good eater to their internal gut to get out of whack. Okay. And then it'll cause them to not eat. And like a lot of times, you know, months can pass and they'll get themselves right and everything. And they'll eventually start eating after you've wasted 6 months trying to get this thing to grow. And it's just like, I'm not eating shit. So if I buy a snake and it was, you know, not like a baby, you know, but like babies, I've never bought a baby that didn't eat the week I bought them. But you know, if I buy a snake that's a little bit older and it has a track record of feeding good, and I trust the breeder who's telling me it was feeding good, and I get it and it goes off food and I don't get it to eat after 2 or 3 weeks, usually about the month mark, I'm giving them a dose of metronidazole. It's not something that's going to hurt them if they don't need it. And I've had about 60 to 70% success rate on it. It's the equivalent of like giving them some Pepto. I mean, in layman's terms. Oh, okay. You know, it's fairly safe. But it is an antibiotic. That's why it's hard to find. It's illegal.
That's what I was just going to say is where in the hell do you even get that from?
The internet. The internet. Or a vet. If you've got a vet friend who will call it in for you, it's really mild. Like if you know any kind of vet, they'll probably call it in for you. But if you don't know that, you just look for it online. It's usually, Pixie's got it. It's from a fish supply place. Because it is considered a prescription drug for mammals, humans, and equine, which I mean, I guess those are mammals too, but it is not a prescription drug for fish. And so you got people who will you can buy the pills. There's a good video from Kevin McCurley on how to dose it down by the pill, but you're estimating, you know, like you're literally breaking off a pill with a razor blade, trying to get it about the right size. If you look around a little bit longer, you can usually find someone who's compounded it and suspended it in an oral solution, and then you throw it to them and you give them a little metronidazole. And I'll do that. Wait a week, wait about 7 days, dose them a second time, and then usually if they're going to eat, they'll eat after that. If they don't eat after that, that's not what it was. I've got Da Vinci too. I've tried Da Vinci, but I've had better success on metronidazole than Da Vinci.
Okay, I see. Because, like I said, I mean, this male, I mean, he is a little bit older. Like I said, he's breeder size. I mean, he's got sperm plugs. The boy's ready to rock and roll. I thought, you know, get him into the program. That'll, you know, let him lock up with the girl. Let him get that shit out of his system. Kind of level his head out a little bit. Because, I mean, I get pheromones were running high in this snake room, you know. And it's like, well, you're not going to get your head straight if you're not doing what you got to do to get your head straight. So that might be, I didn't think about the whole gut thing. And I just know I always hear Billy talk about
Pixel's got the more scientific thing on it. I couldn't remember the word. It's the protozoa. Your protozoa goes out of whack, and then the metronidazole helps fight it off.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into see if I can't find any of that then. Maybe better yet.
You Google search it. It's like I use this one. Metronidazole 10%. Like, don't get me wrong, that's not supposed to be on there. They could get busted. That's fucking like they're stupid. You can't put the horse and the freaking dog and the rabbit on there. You got to put a fish on there. This is for fish. If you're making this yourself and you want to sell it, put a fish on the bottle. This guy probably won't be around long. It's a new company. Get it while you can.
Pixel says, yep, it softens the stool too. Make sure the environment's dry with fresh water when you're dosing Metro. Okay. Oh, there's no issues on that one. I mean, my cocoa's not like saturated with anything, so it's pretty fairly dry anyway.
Yeah, and it works good for other stuff too. Like I got a snake right now that's got multiple granulomas all over her face and head. She starts swelling up like a golf ball, start forming all these little granulomas, which is like little pus pockets where like basically your body has like segregated off an infection and tried to encapsulate it.
Yeah.
It'll never go away. And a lot of times you can give them some, medicine and stuff, and it'll kill the bacteria that's in their body, and the lumps stay there. And you don't actually have to remove them if they're not hindering anything. But like this girl I got, freaking, it's all in her mouth, all in her face. I've got to take her in Wednesday. She's got to have them all surgically removed.
I think I remember Kevin's done videos showing popping that crap out. I do believe
they look like little miniature testicles. Like when you squeeze it out, it's got little veins on it and everything. Yeah. And like I took it to RAL Labs and we like dissected it and poked it and stuff and played with it a little bit.
As gross as that is, that does sound satisfyingly fun.
It is. I'm like, I called Chad. I'm like, Chad, do you do cancer tests or anything at RAL? And he's like, no, I don't do cancer tests or anything. It's not what I do here. And I was like, oh, but you got magnifying glasses and shit, right? And like microscopes and stuff. He's like, holy God, do you even know what I do here? And I'm like, okay, so I can bring this thing over. We can cut it and play with it. And he's like, wait, what is it? Send me a picture. Yeah, bring it tomorrow. Come on, we'll cut it. I'm bad. I'll show up at RAL. Like, they don't even take walk-in customers very often, but I live like right down the road and I have to drive past there to go to the FedEx hub. So I just stop and drop in Nido swabs, no shipping cost or anything. So it's only $25 an animal, or IBD when I get a boa and stuff. And dude, I'm so bad. Like I'll show up and he's like, man, I don't have time to play with you today, Zach. And I'm all like, 5 minutes later, he's outside smoking a cigarette, talking to me. And then we're in there fucking around, picking on people. And
dude, that's freaking hilarious. Oh my God. Dude, it's 10:30. It is 10. Like, what the? Ugh. All right. We're going to have to wrap this up, bro. But, hey, look, it's Kai. What up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you.
He just got here.
I said, he's going to have to watch the replay, though. But tell you what we have to do even more is we've got to have you come back on because there was more shit I wanted to go over. But I've also got to get my ass to bed because I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And with vending a show yesterday, I'm kind of still on the rebound today. You know how that shit goes. I mean, it was only one day.
Well, I'm blessed. I work for Husbandry Pro now. So Monday is actually one of my days off. I don't work on Mondays.
So wait, all right. Now, damn it, Zach. Damn it. Why'd you? Okay. All right. We'll go a little bit longer. Okay. See, this is why I can't do that. I really should just change my day, guys. I should just really change my day so I can stay up late and bullshit.
Oh, no, that's what happened with like our last spot. I'm all like, who does a spot on Sunday? I didn't know there was Sunday.
Yeah, see, but it was a time slot that was open. I thought, hey, 8 o'clock Sunday, do it for like 2 hours. And you know what used to happen, dude? I used to go till fucking midnight. Sometimes it's all but 1 o'clock when I got done. It hurt. Mondays sucked big time. All right, so we'll go for a little bit. We will cap the show off at 11 though. Okay. 11 o'clock Eastern, that is 11 Eastern. We're not gonna
That's
let
when my
Zac
alarm goes off.
All right.
That means I've talked too long.
All right, so 11 Eastern. Kai, yes, Tara. Kai did get some boxes of Yoo-Hoo, and that bastard took all the
Yoo-Hoo.
Dude, do you use Yoo-Hoo at shows?
Oh, I love wherever I can find Yoo-Hoo. Although I don't drink a lot of Yoo-Hoo at shows just because it makes me tired.
Well, no, see, you need to drink Yoo-Hoo at shows, and it has to be in the box because that is where the magic happens, dude.
There's not enough in that box, though. It's like I got to open up like 3 or 4 and get them to combine the straws and be like,
all right, well, see, you have to space out your Yoo-Hoos throughout the day.
I'm not good at that.
But normally after you go and get your Yoo-Hoo, drink it, wait about a half hour max. Normally you do make a sale after that first Yoo-Hoo. So you let that Yoo-Hoo.
You're like, Yoo-Hoo.
Dude, I was not a believer of the Yoo-Hoo, but there is something to Yoo-Hoo. Like I
used to count it as a health drink because I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, the glass Yoo-Hoo bottles, when you got them, it said it was 7 vitamins and 12 minerals or something like that. It used to be on the front of it. I'm probably fucking up the numbers. But it was all they bragged about the vitamins and minerals. It doesn't have that anymore. So I'm like, they probably took all the good stuff out of it.
They just decided, I don't know, all of this shit really is chocolate water anyway. So who needs the vitamins and minerals?
It's better than Hershey. Hershey don't know about no chocolate. That's chocolate milk. Is no. Better get you some Yoo-Hoo.
Dude, I won't lie. I never had a Yoo-Hoo until I started vending reptile shows. I'm not gonna lie. When my whole life never had a Yoo-Hoo, started vending reptile shows. Got it. Danny from DTMG gave me a Yoo-Hoo. He said, "Here, take this, drink it. You'll start selling snakes afterwards." Son of a bitch, he was right.
Juju. That's what you call it. It is not Yoo-Hoo. I'm like, baby, give me a Juju. Give me some Juju.
Yes, Yoo-Hoo Juju. That is exactly. See, see right there, Kai. He sold 2 right after his first Yoo-Hoo. So Kai knocked it out of the park. Kai had a good show. He had a really good show. I sold my last 2. I hate saying it because they're they weren't low end animals, but my lower priced animals. There's a leopard het DG male and a black pastel het DG female. And the price that I sold them both at it hurt, but it was one of those deals where it's all right, at this point in the game, you've been to X amount of shows, you just need to go. We got to get you out the door because I need those tub spaces for a lot more powerful shit that's hatching out there.
If it's not investment level, it hits the 6-month mark and the price starts getting quite negotiable.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of where it was.
I've only ever had a couple of snakes that hit the year mark ever.
See, here's the funny thing though. I had 2 boas sitting on my morph market for a year. They're shipping out tomorrow now. After sitting there for a year. Now, the price got negotiated pretty good, but the price was still good enough to where tomorrow I'm calling ARS and ordering a mini 130. So,
oh, you lucky dog! I want one. I've got all my racks in the adult room behind me are converted to ARS, but I've still got a bunch of sea serpents, which I like my sea serpents. But I feel like I looked at my buddy's ARS 130, and then ARS was in Dallas, and I got to look at it, and I feel like the Colubras will actually be okay in there. So,
okay,
yeah, I like that because I can do all the different species in there.
Well, see, I want it because I'm expecting 15 ball python clutches, so that gives me a place to put all the balls. Frees up the 1065 that's got my holdbacks in it. It frees that up for me to be able to keep the holdbacks plus put the carpets in because I've only got.
And I didn't like starting snakes in the 10s either. I like starting them in smaller tubs.
See, I have little hides though that I put in the 10s. I have the little VE black plastic hides. Put them in there until they get a little cramped and take the hide out, and they're fine. That's kind of been my method.
You stopped like getting off because I was talking about I work for Husbandry Pro now, and you're like, oh yeah. And
yes, like, what the hell happened? So
now we're talking about Star Wars again.
Yeah, now we're we're not talking about freaking Star Wars again. We will stay till 12 o'clock. We start doing that shit. Tara, you Banana Citron boy will be breeding next year, girl. I will make sure you do get a baby from that. Anyway, so all right, tell us about you getting what apparently full time with Husbandry Pro now. What the hell?
Oh yeah,
I thought you were just some part-time guru spokesman here.
No, so I started using Husbandry Pro like early beta. I was one of like the first 100 people using it. I've got over double tickets in the system of the next highest person with tickets. And so basically I met Robert by warding the ever living piss out of him about, I was just a power user from the beginning. I'm like, hey, this doesn't work. Hey, this doesn't work. Hey, this doesn't work. What about this? What about that? And like I put in so many tickets on things that he would end up like messaging me and, asking about stuff. And then we just started talking stuff and like we just hit it off. Like we've been friends for over 3 years. And I've got the experience for what I'm doing with the company, whenever we started off with the partner program last year, like me and him shared a lot of ideas on that and stuff. I wasn't really working for the company, but I was one of the first partners when we started it. And I had like a lot of ideas about stuff like that. And then I was the official representative. We still had partners, but I was a partner that was the official representative. So I was doing like some business deals and stuff for him. And it just progressed from there because I had a day job. And, and that took a lot of my time. And so when I went to go build this new snake building I'm in October last year, I quit my other job. I was going to look for another job. I didn't like it anyways. And I just needed to be able to be 2 hours away every day building something, like I was site superintendent for this. I didn't use a GC, I just used contractors and I was the one who ran back and forth to the tool store every day. And I was coming out here 2 hours. So I didn't have time to work a full-time job also, but I still had a lot of time. I'd just be sitting here because they need me out here for stuff. But a lot of times I was just sitting in my truck. And so I was on my phone. And so I just started doing more and more stuff for him, and doing more business deals, reaching out to more people, started helping out a little bit on the back end side. And then it just came time for me to, my snake building was done. I've been kind of farting around for about a month and kind of milking it because I was in a decent spot financially after I sold my house. And I didn't really have to work, but I was like, I should get back to work. I got to get a job before I get in a spot of having to go back to work.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, let's have a meeting tomorrow. And I was like, all right. And he just decided that he didn't want to lose any of my time, because, with what I was doing. He wanted to stick more stuff on my plate. And so that's when I got bumped from the official company representative to the business development manager. And that started January the 1st, even though I was already doing a little bit of it throughout December and November. And so I run the partner program. I do all the business development stuff. I do all the meetings. I'm the public face of the company, basically, for America and anywhere else in the world. I was originally the American business development manager, and now I'm the business development manager for everywhere. So like I've been working on establishing some relationships overseas and in other countries to start getting our program out there, because there's no reason people in Vietnam aren't using Husbandry Pro. And so I'm working on a lot of stuff like that. And so like basically you got Robert, who owns the company. Billy's an owner also. And then, his wife is like, HR and stuff like that, Tara. But basically it's Robert and then me. And then we've got a lead developer and stuff like that. But I do all the business. I'm the only person authorized to negotiate in good faith on behalf of the company. So yeah, it's a full-time job now. And we're working on other things as well. I own a couple side ventures that we're working on that can't discuss yet and stuff. But we're just staying busy, man. I've been doing all the shows. Like I'm sure some of y'all out there have seen us. We were at Pomona, we were at Tinley, we were at Dallas. We just did Denver All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. Troy and Nick's new show. We're doing Daytona here in a couple months. We'll be doing Tinley again this year. I think we'll probably end up keeping Tinley going forward. We like it. It's a good show. We feel like we always need to have a show presence somewhere. But
yeah, I think that's Tinley. I think is a show where you almost that. I think you almost have to. That's one show you can't miss. I think that's kind of like that. That's that staple show.
Yeah, it's too big, and it's I just feel like we need to have a presence there always. We are going to probably step back from some of the other big shows. We've been working on our partners, as you know, and I've done a full revamp on the partner program, which everyone will see a little bit more of it soon, probably this week this coming week. We'll have some changes coming out that'll be good for everyone that everyone will like. I'm sure you already know. All that'll be ready probably tomorrow or the next day. So we've got a lot of stuff coming with the partner program that's going to help get people involved. And we're going to start leaning on our partners at the shows a little bit more, get some banners out there. I think I talked to you about that.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for that shit because, you saw in like the posts I put up on Instagram stuff. I mean, it's like a foot tall by, I don't know, maybe 18 inches tall. I don't know. It's not something huge, but it's nice. I put it on top of my tower. It's like the highest freaking thing there is, for my display. And it stands out where I put it, but I don't think it draws quite the attention that it needs to draw because people are there looking at the snakes. So they're not like looking up. They're looking, eye level. So I need something that's right there.
We're whipping out some new banners. We're still looking at seeing if we're going to do the same design because we had a couple different designs. We've got a newer design that's on the banner that I have at my shows when I'm just doing there by myself. And then we've got an older design with the blue and white, I believe. We're either going to use the new design with the orange and everything, or we might just do a whole new one. I don't know. We're going to look at it and see. But probably something will be decided on that this week. And then hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have you and some of our other partners with nice banners and stuff. And just going to work on supporting our partners. Like you guys have been here helping us do this for over a year now. And, it's had some trials, it's had some bumps, and we've taken a look at it, and I've pushed real hard to get it changed and get it better, get more incentivized, and make sure we're enabling our partners to represent us good, and not putting so much of it on you directly yourself, a little bit of some advertisement materials and stuff.
Well, I know, like the one thing that I'm thinking about doing, like now when I ship anything out, I should probably be putting it on like photo paper or something, but I print out my little postcard thing on just computer paper and I cut it out and I stick one in every freaking box that I ship out. It's like, there's people that are buying stuff. Chances are they've got multiple animals, chances are, they might throw it out, but.
Well, and that's something, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to start doing optional monthlies for our partners and stuff. So we can talk about things like that, about, marketing it a little bit better and how we do that stuff. Cause we've done this for a minute. So we've got pools to pull from, we have someone who sent out over 2,000 of those in different packages throughout last year. And the return on investment was next to none. Like nobody's really looking at that stuff they're getting in there. They're not scanning it. They're not using it.
That's kind of what I was afraid of.
It's not a pretty sticker. Trash,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. When I thought about, either having Nathan print something, like print the whole card off, because he's the one that did that little banner thing for me.
Well, you can transfer every animal you sell to the person who buys it, whether they have Husbandry Pro or not.
Oh wait,
you just go and you go and create an invoice for them, put in their email address and everything, or you don't even have to use the invoicing system if you don't want to. You just pull up the animal in the transfer system, type in their email address, and hit send, and you click what information you want them to have. Like there's some stuff that's defaulted, it saves your defaults, that good jazz. Like if you want them, you don't want them to have the pairing, but you do want them to have the feedings, or you do want them to have the weights. You want them to have 3 of this, all of these. So you can transfer what you want to them. Like I have my stuff pretty wide open, and I just transfer them everything I got, and I just put in their email address, hit send. They get an email that says, "Hey, so-and-so, Warfel's Morphs has transferred this animal to you. Click here to see this animal's information." And when they click there, it prompts them to set up a free account. And if they set up a free account, they have your animal already in their system. If they don't, they don't, but you at least sent the animal to them. And the numbers we've got from that are insane. Like the ones that have gotten sent, like almost everyone clicks on it. Almost everyone sets up a free and they're like, oh, my animal's in here. This is great. And the next thing you know, they'll put a couple more in there.
I knew you could do the transfer thing from individual to individual that had the software.
Yeah, they still get the same email. They still get the same import code. It's just that link takes them to the website to get a free account to get the information.
Nice. Pixel. Click my affiliate link. Click the affiliate link. I've had a couple of people forget I have an affiliate link. What's that?
Even if they don't click the link, there's a who recommended you, and all the partners are in a drop down right there. If they fill out that field, it'll tag you too.
All right. Well, at least do that, Pixel. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, it like I can't like one there. I just learned something new that the software did. But I guess it's like a tweak that I didn't know had been done, or maybe it's been like that from day one. I just didn't realize it.
I've seen partners that I go to see them at a show and they don't have QR codes or anything on their displays. And I'm sitting there talking to them, and they're like, I didn't even know. A lot of them didn't even know that they could do that, or that they're like, oh, well, I don't want to leave sticker residue.
This I'm like, right here,
there's restickables you can use. I've got restickables for my thermal printer that I can stick on there, peel right off. They leave no residue. And I've got Avery restickables for a sheet label printer. And you've got a few different sizes of the restickables that you can use, so you're not leaving residue. I like to use the restickables because I take it off and I send it with the customer. And I put it on the business card. And I'm like, hey, this is restickable. When you get home, put this on the enclosure, especially if it's like a new person. They don't have records and stuff anywhere yet. I'm going to send them the email. 50-50, they get it. It's highest numbers of anything else, but still 50-50, they're going to do anything with it. But they're going to have that. They're like, oh, yeah, let me stick that on the side of the enclosure. You don't know how many pictures I've gotten back from someone who had questions about something. And I'm like, send me a picture of your setup. And I see that sticker sitting there on their enclosure. And they can always go scan that, contact me, has all the animal's history in there and their records, and they don't have to really keep up with it. So that's why I like to do it like that.
See, I print mine out on photo paper, and then I laminate it. And then I put a little piece of Velcro on the back side of it. So that way, and all my tubs have Velcro. I have a little Velcro patch that, when the snake moves, it just pull that off and stick it onto the next tub. And all my displays, a little piece of Velcro on it, up in the upper right hand or upper left hand corner. Slap it on there. Snake cells. Say somebody wants to walk. This happened at this weekend show. Someone wanted to wait to get their snake on their way out. I said, all right, gave them the Husbandry Pro card. Said, here, this is basically your receipt. You're all paid up. Just come back, bring this back, and then I know which animals, to give you. And that's what they did. It was perfect. And plus now they've got that. They can go put a little piece of Velcro on their enclosure or whatever. And now they can use it if they go and sign up for Husbandry Pro on top of it. So, I think I guess they can't use that QR. I guess they'd have to get their own QR, correct? Or does that QR transfer over to them?
For what?
Like if I sell, say, this one, the QR only works on my Husbandry Pro, but it works if they scan it with their camera. But they'd get a separate QR code for their Husbandry Pro account for this animal.
Yes, there's no way they're going to open Husbandry Pro, scan that QR you gave them, and pull up your animal and your account. Okay. It'll tell them it doesn't work.
Okay, that's what I thought. After I went through saying it, I said, wait, they gotta. But it's at least for me.
You have to turn on public QR. I've ran into so many people who didn't even know there's a little toggle switch to make your QR public, so random people can scan it without the app and get the information.
Yes. See, I do have my QR set to public, and that's one thing where I've had so many people go, that is freaking awesome. And it is. I mean, it's nice. I don't have to remember anything. I just always take the phone and say, hey, take your phone, open up your camera, scan it, tap the link. So anything, if you have questions after that, shoot the questions out. I'll answer everything. I was like, but for the most part, probably what you're going to ask is right there.
If you think something doesn't work right or it feels weird, put in a ticket. Use the ticket system. We monitor it daily. We have a dedicated team of 6 developers who work on this. This isn't another program where somebody who knows a little bit about it wrote a program and we just leave you to your own devices. You're getting something. It's like, yes, there's a monthly on this. It's very nominal. It's the cheapest on the market, really, for doing what we do with the store and everything like that. And it's not much. It's really not. But you get dedicated IT. We've got the little chat now button. During your normal hours, you can get a hold of somebody, usually within a few minutes. If you just need to ask a quick question, you don't want to do the ticket system. Nobody else has that. Put in a ticket with some other major site that shall not be named and see how long it takes you to get a respond. I've put some in and waited 3 days. I've put some in where I never got a reply ever. And that's not what we do. We're all about customer service. We're not just going to get you here, get you to sign up for the system and then just leave you like, oh, this doesn't work. You can look at our change log and see we add stuff daily. I do testing so much. And that's all I'm doing is running scenarios and trying to use the system in different ways because, our system is there's more than one way to skin a cat system. It's not, it's not like, oh, you have to keep your collection like this. We do try, we've worked on the tutorial. Like I literally just finished testing on it last week. We made some updates and some changes to it to help.
I need to work on my videos too for it.
Well, it was real easy to skip before. You just click the wrong button. The next thing you know, you're out of it and you're like, what do I do? And then it's a little tricky to find the right spot to where you reset it. And so now it's like, we got warnings like, hey, don't do this. We strongly recommend you do the tutorial. And if you're watching it and you're getting it, do the tutorial, do the onboarding. It's going to set up because if you don't, you didn't set up any abilities. It's in a video game. You didn't set up any activities or nothing. And you're going to go and be like, I put an animal in. What do I do?
Yep.
I click add activity and it's blank. Well, you don't know because you didn't follow the tutorial that shows you where that's at, asks you what activities you want to use, gives you an option to make custom ones. Do the tutorial. We didn't used to have it. It used to got thrown to the wolves. And I screamed from the mountains for 2 years until we added one last year. And I just personally went through and did a little revamp on it in the past 3 weeks. I just finished it Saturday, actually. I was at a show and I was up till 2 a.m. testing it.
So I know I've got several tutorial videos of setting up. I think I have an initial setup video. I think I go over the breeding plan. There's maybe another video too. I wanted to add in how to link because here's another neat thing, everybody, in case you don't know. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you're on the breeder plan, that's when you get the access to be able to hook up your HerpStat spider webs to your Husbandry Pro, so you can track what your herp stats are putting out temp wise and all that stuff. So that's another nice little perk. I do love that aspect of it.
The breeder level, if you're a breeder, it's probably the level you want if you want to use the system fully, even if you might be at the next level down, because breeder level, you pretty much get access to everything. Commercial, all you get is a higher data cap and you get personalized email, text support. But, if you want to use everything, invoicing, dedicated store, the breeder level's got it all. The next level down, which is the hobbyist, because I think it's personal collector hobbyist. It's the middle level. The middle level has most of it. Yeah, you get the store and you get a lot of stuff with it, but there's a couple features you don't, some of the IT stuff, some of the integration stuff, like the spider web and stuff.
Yes, yeah. That was the spider web thing was a huge thing, especially because the carpets are on spider webs, the hatchling rack is on a spider web, the incubator's going on a spider web this year. I do need to figure out what the hell happened, why my data from my spider webs isn't getting sent over anymore, though. I still need to figure that out.
Put in a ticket?
I didn't know, dude. I forgot to put in a ticket, and then on
I would
top of it,
definitely put in a ticket, because what happens is like something like we integrate with Spiderweb or something, and they'll go and update something. They don't necessarily tell everyone who's plugged in when they do it. And so we just assume the system's working right until someone says, hey, this doesn't work. And then it's like, oh, we got to go do an update to make our stuff. It's a quick fix. It's fixed the next day. It's just stuff like that. When stuff changes, we don't know unless someone tells us.
I'll try to remember to put a ticket in tomorrow, because like I just figured it's like I'm pretty sure I went through and did the setup all correct, but then at the same time it's like, well, I'm not the most tech savvy person, so I'm probably screwing something up or missing something really freaking minuscule, and it's just throwing off the whole system.
Yeah, don't ever hesitate. Honestly, I jump in and I work a lot of the tickets too, and the tickets that I work are usually tickets where I'm replying to someone and just tell like. They just don't know how to use, like they're missing something. They didn't know that this was here, or they're like, man, I'm here and I can't do this. I'm like, oh, that's over here in this area, and that's one of the things, like first thing I do is like, it's not through the tutorial or anything, but like, I go straight down into the settings and I go to menu settings and I rearrange stuff, because some of that stuff you might not use ever, depending on what you do. Like I know people who do not use rack view. I know people who use rack view religiously. If you're never going to use rack view, why do you want to see rack view over here with all those litany of options underneath it? When you accidentally click on it, just turn it off.
Yep.
You don't use it for your feeders, turn it off. You don't use it for your business. You don't use it to keep up with your contacts. You can turn off whatever you don't want. You can move everything around, because like I've changed a bunch of stuff like breeding and commerce. Like I've got a lot of stuff that I've moved around into there and stuff just because it works better for me. It's a better flow. I consider certain things breeding that they might not. You might be the same way. I want my down there with my breeding, but it's by default under the animals.
Yes. Yep. See, I'm basically the same way. Like I love the customization of it. That aspect is freaking phenomenal. Pixel, there is a store that you can create. I love it. If you want to see what it looks like, go into my link tree. First thing you can click on under my link tree takes you to my store. What I consider
that's your Husbandry Pro link tree that comes with your account.
It is the Husbandry Pro link tree that comes with the account.
And people are paying for this service. You're paying for Linktree. Quit. If you're paying for Linktree, it comes with your Husbandry Pro.
Yep. And I mean, it's the same freaking thing. It's the same thing, guys. It's freaking phenomenal. And like Zach just said, it comes free with a Husbandry Pro account. But
we added a lot of little stuff. It's just like little perks. Like some people don't need it. Some people will never use it, but it's nice to have.
Yep. And the other thing too, Pixel, is that on top of the store aspect, you have an incubator. And in that incubator, if you've got a clutch someone wants to get a baby out of, or something that they're interested in, there's a wait list. Half of my clutch one for my carpet pythons is already wait listed out.
Oh yeah, and if you've got, depending on how you set your stuff up, like you don't have to turn any of this stuff on. I know some people are private and they're like, I don't want people to see this stuff.
Yeah,
everything can be turned off. Nothing is public. Everything is private by default. Everything. You have to make anything public. So you never have to worry about that. But you go to my store. You can click on the little button in the top of my store that says incubator and see every clutch I've got hatching. You can click on birthing records and see all the birthing records I've kept up that have, they only go back to last year. This is when we started the birthing system, unless you go in and build it out yourself. But going forward, it builds out your little pedigree for you with your birthing, builds you a nice little tree, and you can see all that. Plus, you can see what my breeding plans is. I have that set to public too. So you can click on my breeding plans and you can scroll through and see all of my males, what females I've got attached to them, see, like what I'm trying to shoot for. And that's a dedicated store. You can't click anywhere in there to go see Jeremy's store. Nowhere. The only thing you can click on is a button that says contact me. You can buy a snake from me. You can contact me, and that's it. And there's even a couple of options where you can make it custom. Just a couple. We're working on shooting to hopefully get that a little bit more customizable in the future, to where there's less, more difference in there. And we're working with proper royals about being able to, like Parpart's Pristine Pythons. You go to parpartspristinePythons.com it's going to redirect you right to my Husbandry Pro store. And up there in the URL, it's going to say ParpartsPristinePythons.com, and it's taking you straight to Husbandry Pro. So I don't have to maintain a separate website. And I still get the coolness of not being /Parparts.
Now, how does that, and Pixel, I'm going to get to your question here in a second. How does that work if, like, for me, I pay Google for the domain of www.warfelsmorphs.com.
Yes, you have to own the domain to use that kind of system. That's something that we don't have yet.
Okay.
You know, we already announced it. Adam with Proper Royals announced it. He'll be recording the whole process. He'll be our guinea pig for it. And that's what it is like, it's, if you go and you buy your domain name, and basically it sets up your Husbandry Pro. We haven't fully decided how we're going to offer that to people, because there is a large amount of setup that goes into it. We're doing the development with Adam, and we're going to see. It might be a paid service. It might be in addition to memberships. We'll just have to see what goes on with that and what the development dollars look like. But it will be a feature that we offer 100%. We're starting to work on it, I believe, next week. And so you go and get your website name that you want. And once we got it all done, for a nominal fee, we'll build it up for you. And then once you've got it, it's there, it's hosted, it links through, and you're good. You go and update your store, you're updating your website at the same time.
That is something I think is worth whatever the cost would be. Like, I think that's a value that saves you so much time, and let's just face it, time is freaking money. Yeah, that's something I'm excited to see how that works out. Pixels says
if you have a website and you got to update pictures on them, I don't care who you got. It's time consuming. You're typing stuff up, you're re-uploading pictures that you've already uploaded somewhere else. Guess what? They're all in your Husbandry Pro. One system to rule them all. You know, this is the one ring over here. You can send your invoices from our system. Keep up with your customers. You know, ridiculous. You can do everything. We've got Square integration, Swipe integration, PayPal integration. You know, for your invoicing system, you can do it all through us. Just tie it in there. You don't have to go to these other websites. You just use ours. And that's what we're trying to do. Is we're doing college schoolboy. We're plugging it in everywhere we can.
See, my workaround for this, I guess it would be the temporary workaround, is that on my website, I have a thumbnail, whatever you want to call it, that you can click on, that then takes you to my Husbandry Pro store. So it's kind of the workaround to make until this whole thing goes, to total fruition. But Pixel says,
for Pixel's question, we don't limit anything. I've got a user who uses it for his cars. You can do custom activities, custom breeds, custom species, custom genetics. You can do custom anything. You want to add, I've got a few different people who use it for their dogs. I've got, like I said, the user, he's got a real high-end car collection, and he added custom activities that have the option to take a photo. So like his custom activities, like oil change. And he goes, and he can add a picture from there of the receipt and stuff and save it in there. So if you got venomous, you want to do it, that's fine. Corns, that's fine. As far as right now, anything you list on your website is able to be sold by you. We don't restrict any animals that go through that, because we do not participate in that whatsoever. We simply facilitate the transaction. We accept zero responsibility or liability thereof, and you're responsible to know who you're allowed to sell to, the laws and stuff, and we stay out of it.
And then Creative here asks, can you talk a little bit more about the NFC tags and what level you have to be to use them? I don't think you have to be any certain level, do you?
I don't know about level. I don't know if everyone's got it or not. Like, you stumped me on that one. I just don't know off the top of my head.
I think if I remember Robert being on the last time talking about NFC tags, I think you can use the NFC tags at any level. I think what you have to be more aware of is that iPhone doesn't work as friendly with the NFC tags as what Samsung or the Android stuff does. There's something with the iPhones you've got to turn on or do something different.
There's not really much to do about it. It's something with the iPhones. They have a little bit more of a problem. We've worked on it. We've tweaked it a little bit. It has gotten better. It does work a lot better. and I might just throw out that we're all Android users, so we like advanced technology where I come from, and we still make stuff for iPhone people too because we love you as well. So NFCs. So a little bit more about the NFC tags, what you have. So you actually don't have to buy our NFCs. You can buy them directly on our website. They're nominal. I want to say it's less than $1, like 70-ish cents a piece, 75 cents, something like that. If you buy more, I do believe they get a little cheaper, like down into the 50s to 60s or something. You can find them on Amazon, but they don't have like a cool logo or anything. They're usually blank. I get asked a lot about custom ones. Like, I would love to have that on a freaking NFC. Yeah, that's super awesome, but you're going to have to order like 400 of them to find someone who will make them custom for you. So just understand that that's what you look at on that. Like, we've thought about offering it, but it's like you can't find anyone, like any kind of big business that'll do a batch of less than 400 on those NFCs, and it's rather expensive. So you can buy ours directly. You get the little button. You can put them on anything. Billy puts them on his displays when he goes to shows. I'm working on getting them integrated for my keepers. I'm not going to use them for my babies just because I don't feel like reprogramming them all the time. But I do like it in the room because if you've got your NFC turned on, you can walk up and just tap the rack, with your phone. Because like I do a lot of big activities with a tablet and a hand scanner because we support hand scanners. And if I'm going through and weighing 150 snakes, yes, I'm going to do it assembly line style. Got my hand scanner. Boop, 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 boop. I can do the whole room in less than an hour, probably about 30 minutes. But if I'm just doing a pairing and stuff, it's just like, oh, I've got 7 or 8 that lock tonight. I don't want to whoop it. I don't want to whoop out the tablet and pair it to the hand scanner. I just tap it, tap the male's tub, boom, do your thing. We're working on activity NFC. So you'll be able to have like some NFCs on your work cart. Say you got a cart that you're cleaning your room with. This would be better for a lot of your big breeders and stuff. Like you'll have a NFC for feeding. You can do this with QRs now, but you can do it with feedings, with NFCs for like feedings, weights, whatever you want to set one up for a custom activity. And so for like say feedings, you tap the animal, it pulls the animal up. You tap the QR for feeding. It automatically will register a feeding based on their default feeder item. If you don't want to do that, you will have to stop in the middle and change the feeder type and then tap the feeding. But it's going to bring up that activity screen for you. Okay. So you can go through and do it like fast, like if you want to do it like that. I wouldn't use it for feedings and stuff. I use it more for incidentals. Like I said, when I've got here and there stuff, it's easier than getting the phone scanner out because you're like doing this to get it. And and then still scan that snake over there, and you're like, and so you got to check it. Like I always have to check.
The scanner is almost
going fast. Yeah, like I've got going fast before and entered a weight for the wrong snake, and I'm like, now I got to go back and delete it out, go put it in for the right one because I didn't check. But with the NFCs, you don't have to worry about that because you got to tap it. You tap it, you're going to get the right animal. You're never going to scan the wrong animal. So it's pretty cool.
Creative as far personally, I haven't tried the NFC stuff. I like the QR stuff though, because like I was showing before, you've got something like this. You can put you can design your own tag, you can put the genetics, you can put whatever you want, you can customize whatever info you want on it, plus you've got the QR. Now with what Zach was saying with the activity stuff, what I think is cool is that you can print a QR code off for your rack and scan that QR for your rack. And then you can select bulk feedings and stuff like that. And you can just tap, okay, all these animals ate or these animals didn't eat, tap those and, register the bulk feedings or bulk refuses, however you want to do it. It saves you literally a crap ton of time if you don't want to go through scan every animal. I love it. It saves me a shitload of time, to say the least.
I love the quick activity screen. That's my favorite screen because I don't use Rack View. I use my animal list and I use quick activity screen. And I know a lot of Rack View people who've never seen the quick activity screen because you can just do the whole rack right there. Like I used to use it, I did, but yeah. I'm too OCD. I can't have blank spots. I'm always moving my snakes around because I decide my clowns need to be over here and the pies need to be over here. But this is a het pied. Does this go in the middle over here? And then, like, anytime I sell a baby, I move everything in the rack for every baby I sell. Like, I don't do empty tubs. I don't like it. It's a lot to keep up with in the rack view.
See, I do that sometimes, but I wait. Like, there's got to be a lot of empty spaces for me to want to combine them then.
Yeah, so for me at shows, I prefer this QR code just like Jeremy does for the NFC, because if I've got an NFC, I still feel like I need the label, because there's going to be somebody who doesn't want to tap that. And they're going to walk up and you're going to get 50 freaking times a show. Well, what is it? It don't got no label or anything like the rest of them. I'm in Texas. That's what it's going to sound like. I'm from Texas. I can say that. But that's what you're going to hear out here in Texas. I don't understand. Like, you got to tap that. I don't think my phone does that. And then you're sitting there having IT lessons because I tell you what, your NFC tap it. I don't care what phone you got. It's not on by default. So now you're all like, let me show you how to use your NFC, Papa.
See, my comment to this is that it's hard enough to get people to realize that you can scan the QR codes. Like, I always have to show people you can scan this. Like, I'm literally going to make a sign for my next big show that says scan me to find out more about me, or whatever. Like, scan QR codes to find out more about the animals. Or
I'm saying it all the time. When I'm busy, like, I see people looking at a snake and I can't get to them right now, I'll tell them, I'm like, hey, scan that QR. It's got all the info. And they're like, huh? Oh. And then, like, if I'm real busy, there's someone else sitting around like, oh, yeah. And then next thing I know, a couple people are scanning it.
Yeah. See, that's my big, like, you would think people would think, hey, maybe I can scan this, because that's admitted. People are nosy, and, you know, they always want to try to figure something out or see what's up with this. But for whatever reason, it seems like they don't ever scan the QR codes. Like, there were a couple of people I told them, hey, if you scan it, you can find, and then they start scanning everything. It's cool. But then you get
this. Like, you talk about people don't scan QR codes. You've seen the trailer, right?
Dude, the trailer looks badass.
We call it the badass trailer. It's the Batmobile. So that thing's got QR codes on every side of it. I've taken that thing to shows for a few months, and I post multiple times on the page like, hey, take a picture with the trailer, scan the QR code, we'll give you a free shirt. You know how many people have been in to collect that free shirt?
Not one.
You know how many times that trailer has been scanned in the past 3 months?
Probably none. What?
4 times. 4 times. I was one and Robert was one. People don't scan QR codes if you don't tell them they don't have to.
See, that's yeah. See, I think for sure.
And we even made it like, I made sure to make it so big that you could scan it from like car lanes over.
Yeah. See,
I'm sure glad you talked me into making them a little smaller and adding more like artwork and stuff. People like that much better.
See, I think it's something where technology, people haven't caught up with the technology yet. That's the only thing I could think of. I mean, the younger generation, yeah, they're probably up with it, but let's face it. I mean,
well, it's like the younger generation knows how to do it, but they don't care about it.
Exactly.
It takes too long for them. They're like, I got to scan it and then hit the
wait, and I got to hit that little link that it pops up, and it's not.
I feel like we tried real hard during COVID, because like a lot of restaurants went to like QR menus, like you had to scan them, and I'm like, oh, this is it. The QRs are going to take off.
Yep.
No, everyone just threw a walleye fit, and as soon as they could, they just threw a walleye fit until they went right back to menu.
Yep. But see, I think that's, like I said, I think that's where I need to have, like, anybody that's using the QR codes, I think you need to have a sign somewhere that tells people you can scan the QR codes and it will tell you information about the animals. I think that's like a need, I think, here. But dude, it's 11:30. I said we were gonna cut this shit off at And you're
tired.
already.
I'm hungry. I haven't even had dinner yet, bro. Starving. Gotta eat.
We're gonna have to have you back on so that way we can bullshit some more because I had a blast tonight, dude. Like I could literally could go on for like this could be an easy like 4 or 5 hour live. I'd have no problem with it. I have no doubt. So we have to do this again. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate all the love and support. Make sure, guys, go hit that affiliate link. Give Husbandry Pro a shot, please. I will be surprised if you do not subscribe. Jim says it's only 10:30. Jim, you need to come a little bit farther east, bro.
It's 10:30 my time too. 30 more minutes, I get Whataburger breakfast.
Tell you what, you're gonna have to wait for that. You're gonna have to, no, I can't do it. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm still recouping from the show last night. Thank you very much, Tara. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Jim. Greatly appreciate it as well. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Next week, what is next week? Next week's Mother's Day, isn't it? I think. Am I wrong? Next week is Mother's Day.
I gotta go buy some stuff.
Yeah, so I got to figure out what I'm doing for Mother's Day. I also got to figure out what I'm doing for a guest for next week because I didn't book anything for Mother's Day. But we are having a pop-up live sponsor auction on May 19th with John and Christine from Triforce Morphs. There is going to more than likely, if you guys all know about what John and Christine have in the display cases at the shows, there's a lot of heat. So make sure you guys do not miss that because there's probably going to be some really nice animals up for grabs. So make sure you guys don't miss that. I've got to finish getting guests booked because, like I said, things have been crazy. I've been training a new guy at work. So, yeah. Training new guys, pulling clutches, editing videos, trying to remember to record new videos for you guys. It's been crazy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to make excuses either. But it has been crazy. So this week's video, though, folks, will be clutch pulling of it's the clutch pulling. And I can tell you what the hell it was, so that way you guys tune in and watch it. If I told you what it was, you wouldn't watch. I know you all watched the last carpet python clutch pulling because you wanted to see if I got bit or not. Thankfully, there were a couple people that do love me, and they even said they didn't want to see me get bit. Tara, I do believe I remember.
I can see the title already. Got bit, getting bit 27 times by baby carpet pythons. That's the ultimate clickbait. And then when you get them there, you talk about how you don't get bit 27 times by baby carpet pythons.
Dude, I thought about doing like really, because you know how like you can put that little short video clip like in the beginning, then you can run your intro. I literally thought about trying to do a dramatic thing with like a rubber snake and flying back and like falling on the floor and wrestling with it. I thought, no, like that's probably a good way to get banned like really freaking quick off YouTube.
No, you see like an action shot of one of them striking at you or something. They're gonna be like, people are gonna be like, he's about to get bit. He's gonna be bit. They will watch the whole show thinking, like, don't tell them until the end that you're not gonna get bit.
Yep. See, I have thought about doing this, but then at the same token, I don't want to be that clickbait guy. However, I don't understand how my clutch cutting, of clutch one, which you could kind of see, but you couldn't really see the greatest, what the babies look like inside, got over 1,000 views. And then my update where I show all of the babies and you get nice camera angles of them all, didn't even remotely get half,
man. Why do you think all the big breeders cut? Dude, like, I don't cut shit. Like, I used to, but now I wait till they come out. Like, I'm going to see it when it gets here. If I was doing YouTube and stuff, I would be doing cutting videos because people want to see it. People want to watch. They get more views than like almost, if you're not getting bit or you're cutting an egg, like you gotta, clickbaity. I mean, that's just sad truth.
The thing is, though, is like, if I'm showing off the animals that you could barely see in the egg, wouldn't you want to see the animal that you could barely see in the egg? Wouldn't you want to see like the? I don't know. Like let me. All right, because now I'm curious of how bad.
I think it's like the gross factor. Like people want to watch gross stuff. Like there's goo coming out, there's blood, there's veins. Like you just got, more people who might not even want to buy that snake. will click it and view it. And that gets, but I mean, it gets you more views, getting you more views and more clicks, gets other people to see it, and that gets the person who is going to buy it to see it.
Yeah. Well, see, all right, my clutch cutting for clutch 1 is at 1.2 thousand views in 2 weeks' time, okay? That's probably one of the best viewed videos that I've got. Don't know why, but whatever. The update video for it has 503 views. Granted, 4 days, okay? It's been up for 4 days, but 503 views. And you could see, like, I put a picture of all the 3 Batman right there up front. Beautiful angle of them. And nobody watches. Maybe I shouldn't have put the good snakes on the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah, they saw them. They already saw them. You got to, like, tease. Give them like a little, like Justin does, where you cut the egg and you just, like, you see, like, one shade of one little corner peeking out. They're like, I need to see the rest of it. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I got to do. Maybe I got to start letting everybody see less.
Less is more. Less is more. I'm telling you.
That's it, guys. I'm gonna slice it and just be like, yeah. I can see 2 scales. Here's 2 scales. All right. Next day.
Tune in next week to see them.
Well, all right. Let's not get too carried away here. Tune in like next month. You'll finally get to see what the hell came out. But all right, Zach, we gotta shut this one off, bro. Hang on here one second. Everybody, again, thank you very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate all the love and support. Check out all of our channel sponsors, please. They're up above. Check out our channel members as well. At the end of every weekly video, you guys will get to see the channel members. I've got all their logos up on a nice little slide there. So check them out, please. Greatly appreciate their love and support. And Zach, thanks again, bro, for tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate you being here. And everybody, have a wonderful freaking week. And hopefully you're not training a new guy and you guys can come home and be happy. I come home and look for a bottle at the moment. I guess that leads to happiness, but hey, whatever. But everybody, have a good week, and I will catch you next week, and we'll see who I pull out, or maybe it'll be a solo life. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a round table. I haven't done a round table in a while. We'll figure something out. Might be on Saturday, though, because I'll have to talk it over with Kara. I don't want to become homeless or dead for doing a live on Mother's Day. I got to play that one a little cautious. So we'll figure it out. You guys will see it, though, early this week as to what the hell's going on. So catch you guys next week. Later.